The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey.
Why?
Let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You ping.
Stutter! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Here we go, Feel Good Friday, October 18th, the Pat McAfee Show. I'm AJ Hawk sitting at Pat's desk as he joins us from Austin, Texas for a huge football weekend. Football! That's what we're doing, Pat. Football was played last night. You have a beautiful setup down there in Austin. Obviously, you saw the Broncos go into New Orleans and beat them last night. What are your thoughts? How you doing right there with the beautiful podium on the nice little concourse I see in Austin, Texas?
Hey, thank you for traveling to the Thunderdome and hosting alongside the boys. I will say, boys, I missed you this morning. I'm down here in beautiful Texas, and this is Texas Memorial Stadium, okay? They've put a sponsor in front of it. I don't remember the exact name. There it is, Darrell K. Royal, Texas Memorial Stadium. It's DKR, DKR Memorial Stadium down here in Texas. 100,000, 119 people, just north of 100,000 people. And tomorrow, this place is going to be rocking. It's a big one, top 5 matchup. Another one, college football continues to just deliver every single time slot. Tomorrow, that college football is going to be on is going to be bananas, and obviously this one, Sark and Kirby Smart taking each other on in the middle of the college football universe. Honored to be here. Now let's get back to last night. Boy, that game sucked. I'll tell you what. We've been saying this all season, and this is very unlike us. And I think every once in a while you got to look in the mirror and let other people know how you're feeling. We have been a NFL-heavy program since the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Even when COVID happened, which we can never forget, and it sucked that it happened, we survived it, though, all of us right now. We should think about that. With how devastating it was, we all survived it, which is, we talked about the NFL through like 2 years, pretty much, of just stoppages of stuff, live every single day. We are a pro NFL show. Always have been, always will be as well. Let's not get it crazy. But this year, I think we've been very open about it. College football has delivered in the primetime games much more so than the NFL has. Much more so than the NFL has. Now, the NFL has things that college football doesn't have, and talent level at every position. There are so many more pros. But when you talk about the games that we're watching that are like hard to stay awake for, especially if you and your lovely bride happen to have a 17-month-old or an 18-month-old, and you have a job, that is full-time. It's hard to stay awake for these NFL games because they suck. These college games, awesome. Last night, Broncos beat up on the Saints, and obviously Haener gets in there late and throws a tud for the Saints, just like we said he would. Okay, just like we said he would. But that game was, I think the most electrifying thing was Drew Brees at halftime.
Sure.
We had a lot of doubts. We had some doubts, and obviously I was not in the Superdome, brother, last night, but I have seen some videos of it. Feels like, just like we kind of maybe alluded to at the end of it, Drew Brees was able to figure it out. And that's why I want to say, boys, 1,
2,
win
for you,
3,
4,
win
some more,
5,
6,
just whatever.
For the kids.
Okay. Anyways, they did it. They did it. That was the most electrifying part of it. And congrats to the Broncos, 4-1 in their last 5. Now, there's a lot that Bo is going to have to figure it out. Sean Payton seemingly has it figured out, and there were some touching moments with Sean Payton returning to New Orleans last night. The interview he did with Carissa talking about it. Then they showed him walking on the field 5 hours earlier that he said he was going to take an Uber over and then kind of get a feel for it, get a sense for it, go back in the locker room. Then when he led the team out, he thought there might be some emotions. And I'll tell you what, he walked out there, one pace. We're not changing gear at all. Okay, he had a little sass too. You could tell he was kind of taking it in, feeling the moment. And I think anybody that talks about Sean Payton, obviously he's an incredibly competitive person. Incredibly fiery person.
Oh, yeah.
Last night, they're celebrating Drew Brees, okay, with this particular Saints team, with how injured they were. felt like Sean Payton had a mindset that I'm going to go remind these people, and his team showed up for him, AJ. I think that's a big deal.
They absolutely showed up, and no surprise, their defense showed up too. 6 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, I believe, from this defense of Denver. So they just continue to roll even without Patrick Surtain, right, on the outside. So this is. It was a cagey match, I guess you would say, Pat. As Gumpy says sometimes about soccer at times. Ty Schmidt, you watched most of this game. What was your thoughts on Spencer Rattler with his play? What do you expect from him? Do you think the Saints have a chance even if they get Derek Carr back soon?
No, they've lost 4 in a row, and it's funny that you go to me because knowing what we're going to talk about in a little bit, if anyone was someone who kind of really wasn't paying much attention to this game, it was definitely me. I mean, I
told me you were.
I watched it for a little bit, but it was. I mean, it's just like you see how many people the Saints had injured who wasn't going to play, and I guess that's what, anytime someone talks about the Thursday night games, it's kind of the thing. It's like anyone that's kind of on the verge of potentially playing definitely isn't going to play, but it just, it was, Pat mentioned, it was so boring, like from at halftime or a little before halftime, I switched over and it was 16-3, and it was like you could tell the Saints just had no life. There's the clip of Spencer Rattler. Dennis Allen calls timeout right before half, and then they decide to take a knee, and he's like, "What the hell are we doing?" It kind of just felt like that was a microcosm of the Saints' performance all night, and it never really felt like it was anywhere close to being competitive or in doubt that the Broncos were gonna lose. Like they dominated from start to finish.
Yeah, like if anything, if you're a Broncos fan, you could view this as like, hey, we're figuring it out now. Like Bo Nix played pretty damn well. He was running wild, brother. That little QB power left, and then Javonte.
I saw him miss 2 open wide receivers.
Same play.
That's what the internet told me.
That's
what the internet told me.
I mean, that's the thing. Bo Nix is so locked in. He needs a little pressure in his face. He needs a guy to be on his wide receiver so he can throw it through a keyhole. That one's not great. He also missed a tight end in a flat. That would have been a touchdown. And then another one later on. Cortland Sutton.
He's winning games.
Yeah, he's winning games.
He's winning.
And without Cortland Sutton. Like, Cortland Sutton had no targets, no catches, was basically just running routes out there, having fun, having a good time, working on his cardio, but they're still winning, And Bo Nix has not really turned the ball over, which I feel like is the biggest thing you're looking for from a rookie quarterback. And then their defense, obviously the Saints offense, very, very banged up. No, neither of their starting guards. Obviously Derek Carr's not playing, Olave's not playing, Shaheed's not playing. So it's hard to be like, oh, man, the Saints are really terrible. They look terrible because most of the guys that are playing for them aren't their starters, obviously. So a Denver defense, which we've talked about the last few weeks, who's played unbelievable, who, sure, they're missing Surtain, but for the most part, were healthy. Like, the Broncos did look very, very good, and you would want a team to dominate the way the Broncos did when you're playing a Saints team that is littered with injuries, because you guys know, like, letdown games, that could happen, especially if you're expecting, like, hey, we're going to come in and beat the shit out of this team mentally, and then to actually go and do it. Like, if you're a Broncos fan, you're pretty fired up, and if
team out, if we don't, then what are we doing? We're not on the right track.
That's what I mean, and they did. Like, they absolutely dominated. And sure, like, it was 33-10. It was 33-3. Jake Haener came in, and it was the end of the game, and they're basically just playing back. And as we know, Jake Haener, for the common folk who don't know this, Jake Haener is basically Mahomes. And he will be a problem in the NFL. He's really kind of just a shorter Flacco. And as soon as the team hands over the keys to him, then that team is headed to the moon, because that's who Jake Haener is. And to be completely honest,
he's got a little bit more wiggle than Flacco.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're right.
A little bit more wiggle.
He's kind of like what Baltimore wanted from the get-go, a combination of Flacco and Lamar.
Yeah.
That is who Jake Haener
with some Drew Brees.
With a little bit of Drew Brees. Yeah,
got a little Brees
with
in
some
him, too.
Brees.
He's and Rich Gannon.
He's got some Gannon in him. He'll try. I mean, you could say he's got some Johnny Finch, because I assume he could put that thing all the way around town and send that thing to the moon. That's what Jake Haener does. And Spencer Rattler, I feel bad for him just because he was having a very, very tough time on the internet last night, and he was people were pulling some old clips, but last night was kind of just a reminder for the first time ever that as much as I hate baseball is all the way back, because I had to move the Thursday night football game to the second TV, the smaller TV, and put the baseball on the big TV, because also Prime, sorry, but it's very hard to, you can't change the channel with Prime. So
going from streaming, it is. Pat, you watch baseball, I assume. Sometimes
this
we say
one
it
I'm
as a
saying-
joke, though. This one's for real, huh? Like this was a night.
This is to Connor's last point there. Hand up, okay? As a human who has been very vocal about the sport of baseball being absolutely crap, just absolute crap. Like, so boring, so slow, so long.
What?
How many games?
What?
Who cares? Who cares? I've been like that about baseball. I'll tell you what. This postseason here for the MLB, I think Paul Skeens all season got me into it, right?
Yep.
Friend of the program, I think we can call him that. He was playing for the Pittsburgh Pirates, where a lot of us are from on this particular program, so we were paying attention. So Paul Skeens doing what Paul Skeens was doing was getting me back into baseball. I'm like, wait a minute, this guy's electrifying. And then, you start kind of following the sport a little bit. You're like, wait a second, Shohei Ohtani, maybe this guy is the most important guy in the history of baseball. And then it turns out like postseason numbers in Japan are doing like 13 million, bigger than the numbers in the United States of America because this guy's playing. It's like, hold on, does the MLB have a couple storylines that are worth following? And then you get to the postseason, and these games are electrifying. Last night, there was 2 of them, obviously. And whenever you're on Prime for Thursday Night Football, and I've said this to the Amazon people, I think that are in charge, because you got us trapped over there. All right? You got us trapped on Thursday night, okay? You just, I'm trapped on Prime. Okay, so whenever you guys go to a commercial, in 2024, I think starting probably in like 2005, anytime a commercial came on, as soon as they kind of invented like internet and social media and phones with cameras and access to everything, I think as soon as anything went to commercial break, it was either changing the channel or not paying attention at all. Prime's got us locked in. We are stuck. We got to re-download another app if we want to change the channel whenever the commercial's on. They should be charging a lot more for those commercials than I assume they are, because you're forced to kind of watch. We go to your phone, obviously, but you are forced to watch those things. So I made the jump over to baseball because I seen some shit popping off on the internet, and I'm going to be honest, I never looked back. I never looked back. And that's the first time that I've ever done that in my entire life. I don't even know if I feel good saying it out loud that I did that. But I definitely did. And Ty Schmidt, what happened in that Yankees game, holy shit, brother. Baseball has been on fire, Ty Schmidt. You've been right all along, it feels like.
Yeah, well, and I mean, it goes both ways, because you are right about the regular season, but I feel like this was kind of what I've been trying to say. And if you're a fan of baseball, like, just wait till we get to October, because these games, they really are special, and it is heightened. It's like every other sport, you kind of get rid of all the middling shit that kind of drags everything down. You get the best players and the best teams, and then the best moments happen. Like that Yankees game last night, I mean, Yankees kind of no life all game. They're down 3-1 going into the 8th, and a guy like Aaron Judge, who is arguably one of the best players, he's going to win AL MVP this year. It's kind of him and Shohei carrying everything. He hits a massive 2-run homer in the 8th inning to tie the game off Emmanuel Clase, who arguably is the best closer in baseball. So we're getting a lot of these like good-on-good situations. We talked about Judge versus Skeens in the All-Star game. You get a lot more of those in the playoffs. And then, boom, right after that, Clase gives up a home run to Giancarlo Stanton, the Yankees, who had no life all night, all of a sudden are up.
Back-to-back jack.
Yeah,
2 outs, right?
Yeah, exactly. In the bottom of the 8th inning, kind of go now or go home, and everyone's thinking, hey, Yankees are going to go up 3-0 in this thing. They're going to be done. The Yankees bullpen has been absolutely lights out, and then boom, bottom of the 9th inning, pinch runner, John Casey, what's his last name? John Casey Noel. They call him Big Christmas. Hit 2 outs, hits what looked to be, obviously a no-doubter. He might have hit that thing 1,000 feet. I think they said that's the first time in the history of the playoffs that there's been a pinch hit 2-run homer to tie the game. So going into extras, it's just back and forth. Like, it really did kind of feel like, hey, whichever one of these teams is going to get the last at bat is going to win this game. Yankees, don't really do anything in their half of the inning. And then in the bottom of the 10th, David Fry hits a walk-off blast to
what?
Yeah, exactly. He's already had one earlier in the postseason against Detroit. He does it again. So for a Guardians team who was looking at being down 3-0 and basically having this season over, they get arguably one of the, for me, that was one of the most, if not the most memorable postseason baseball game that I've watched in the last 20 years, maybe. Just incredible. And that's what, you get the Moneyball thing. Like, hey, it's hard not to be romantic about baseball. It's because of games like this. It's just like the guys you want to see and expect to show up they do show up. And then you got a team like Cleveland who doesn't have the big stars that New York has, but they're just scrappy. And it really is like, hey, they're going to give everything they have. It's not over until the last out. And that's why these games have been so good, because outside of the other series, which we'll talk about a little bit, it's kind of largely been a blowout. The Dodgers have kind of just been handling the Mets. But this Yankees-Guardians series, every single one of these games has been close. And it's kind of like, if you're a fan of either team, you're kind of clenching your bunghole every inning. Like, man, we really need one here. And they kind of, like I said it earlier in the week when we were talking about it, just underscores the importance of, like, scoring early and then kind of staying pat. But just the amount of home runs, I mean, we have a Hembo stat. So, like, that game, that was just the second postseason game all time to feature 4 game-tying or go-ahead runs in the 8th inning or later, which is just crazy. That never happens. It's happened once before, and it was between Cleveland and the Red Sox in '95. So it's just like you're getting something special every single night, it seems like, and the games being on back-to-back nights is kind of awesome because now the players are getting in a little bit more of a groove. It's kind of more like the regular season where you can have your day-to-day be the same and you don't have a bunch of off days. So, yeah, baseball has been delivering, especially on nights when, we have a Thursday night football game that kind of stunk.
Absolute crap. And congrats to the Dodgers seemingly just about that with the Mets.
Yeah.
They go in, to quote Kirk Cousins, they walked into their trap, and then took their trap, that is, took over their trap. Shohei Ohtani getting into the mix. Aaron Judge getting into the mix, I think, is also massive news. That's leadoff, second pitch of the game. Shohei Ohtani hits a dinger, and that's coming off of the news about the 12 or 13 million people watching in Japan. So literally Shohei knows that his entire country is watching. He knows that he is one of the stars. He's up at bat first, so he's been thinking about that at bat literally all day. And on the second pitch, he takes it out. It's like this dude, so special, so special. And we're doofuses when it comes to baseball. I think Ty is obviously very well versed, but whenever I speak about it, it's coming from a place of complete ignorance. Never played. Well, one time, semi-pro, Frontier League, no big deal. On base percentage 333. You take that as you will. But the way this guy was pitching as soon as he comes into MLB and then hitting as soon as he comes into the MLB, it's like, this is the greatest guy of all time. This is the greatest baseball player of all time. He's better than everybody. And now he's just DHing, and they're still talking about him potentially being one of the greatest baseball players of all time. But whenever you think, is he going to pitch in a World Series? Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is senior MLB insider for ESPN, friend of the program. Ladies and gentlemen, light the engines. Start the jet. Jeff Basson.
Yeah.
Jet,
Gentlemen,
how are you doing, pal?
It's been too long. I'm doing great, guys. How are you?
We've been paying attention to baseball. I don't know if you saw it. I don't know how much you've been able to listen to. I actually turned off NFL last night and watched baseball until I fell asleep. That's the first time ever in my life. And I just said that for a second time. I don't know if I'll say it for a third, but you needed to hear that, Jet. I need you to hear that.
I appreciate that. Listen, I appreciate the baseball tweets. I appreciate the fact that at every stadium I go to, whether it is Yankee Stadium or Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia or Citi Field, where I'm going to be tonight for Game 5 of the NLCS, every place I go, they say, go back on McAfee. We need to see you talking ball there. So thank you, boys, for having me back.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's great to have you here, man. Baseball's been delivering. I'm happy to hear that there's some baseball fans that watch this program as well for everything that I've said. Now, let's get into is there a lot of baseball? All right, I'm not even. See, I don't need.
Hold on, Pat. Do you want to tell them what happened on the train in Philadelphia?
That was awesome. That was a good time. That was a really good time, actually.
All right, so I'm sitting there on the train in Philadelphia, and a bunch of absolute meatheads just come on. I mean, these guys, it's like 9:30 in the morning, and these guys have been drinking already. One of them has a bag of, like, Twisted Tea. He's not drinking, like, out of a can, out of a bottle. No, it's just a plastic bag. And they're like, yo, Jeb, we love you on McAfee. And the drunkest one comes up, he's like, yo, bro, call McAfee. And so it's college game day morning, and I'm like, all right, Pat's probably going to be busy, but I'll try. And so I call him, doesn't pick up at all. I'm like, oh, I'm the disappointing guy. About 30 seconds later, my phone rings, and I was like, hey, fellas. And I turn around, and I show the phone to him, and it says, Pat McAfee. FaceTime video.
That's awesome.
It was like 5 of them. It was just 5 of them, just screaming.
All you could see was 5. There were 25 of them. So, like, I had a friend who sent me a video being taken of me showing you off to all these other people, and all of them baseball fans, McAfee fans,
Nice.
Incredibly toxic table fans. Even like this was good.
Yeah, yeah, we like that a lot.
The reach
obviously-
is far and wide, boys.
That's really cool. Those Johns over there in Philly, we appreciate them watching along, and it was an honor to yell at my phone while they were yelling at your phone on a train over there. Obviously, the Phillies don't go on a run, and we were bummed out about that because we're big Bryce Harper fans, and that Philly Park is obviously electrifying, and you came on, and I believe Carl Ravitch came on and said, hey, that stadium over there in San Diego, also awesome. Don't worry about that. It feels like everywhere that they've been, like let's talk about Cleveland last night, that setting, atmosphere, was bananas. This has been above and is this what normal postseason baseball is like, or does this feel like this is bigger this year, Jet?
No. This is what it's normally like, and I just think it takes some time for. Yeah, I think it takes some time for people to appreciate it. And look, I think like Stanley Cup Finals has the reputation in hockey as being one of the best, if not the best. And the Super Bowl is the Super Bowl, and the NBA, of course, in March Madness. Like October baseball to me is the best of all of them. And I think that manifested itself during the wild card series and the division series where there were close games, close fought series, dramatic moments. The LCS hasn't been all that great until that swing right there from Aaron Judge. When he knocked that ball out of the park on a line to right field. And then Giancarlo Stanton followed up with a home run himself, just a pea to dead center field. And all of a sudden, the Yankees are up 4-3, and it looks like they're going to run away with this series that they were leading 2-0 already. And then up steps Big Christmas John, Kenzie Noel, 2 outs against an unhittable Luke Weaver this postseason. Takes him deep. Cleveland's going wild. And then David Fry, of course, in extra innings with this bomb off of Clay Holmes. It's one of the best baseball games that you're going to see, man. And just going back and forth. And as somebody from Cleveland, I appreciate every one of those fans there. I'm still calling it Jacobs Field because I grew up at Progressive Field.
All
of them have been waiting.
Respect it, Jet.
I didn't know what all we're calling the same.
Yeah, I know.
What all
What
we're
are
calling
you
the
keeping
team
the
name?
same?
What all are we calling the same?
Yeah, Jet.
What do you?
All right. Regardless of what it's called, do you guys know how long it's been since the Cleveland Indians / Guardians have won a World Series?
How long?
It's been since 1948. This is a team in Cleveland. Yeah, exactly. I mean, listen. Like Cleveland sports history, I think is even more tortured than fans realize. It's not just the drive. It's not just the fumble. It's the fact that in the 1990s, the Indians had the greatest collection of talent ever in baseball that didn't win a championship. They had Manny Ramirez. They had Jim Tomei, both Hall of Famers. They had Kenny Lofton, who probably should be in the Hall of Fame, and Roberto Alomar, who is in the Hall of Fame, and Albert Bell and Carlos Baerga.
Jeez.
I mean, it was a stacked lineup. And in 1995 and 97, they broke, teenage Jeff Passan's childhood heart by losing in the World Series. And listen, if anyone deserves a World Series, we've got the biggest markets in right now. We got both New York teams. We've got the Los Angeles Dodgers. If you are rooting for a team to win right now, it should be the Cleveland Guardians because, frankly, Cleveland deserves it.
Okay, so that's what I was about to ask you there while you were talking about your heartbreak as a young lad, just a young Jet getting his heart broken by the Cleveland Indians at the time, now the Cleveland Guardians. You're saying good baseball town. Cleveland, good baseball town. Obviously, it looked like it last night.
Yeah.
I was there for what? SummerSlam? Was that what was in Cleveland? SummerSlam was in Cleveland?
Yeah, yep.
And
it was.
the Friday night SmackDown, new stadium coming to town, by the way. Probably last SummerSlam ever at that particular stadium. I don't know if people in Cleveland are pumped about that. You guys got a dome in Cleveland. Okay. Hey, good for you guys. Hey, congratulations.
Will it be retractable?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Like a dog.
Probably not.
A doghouse.
It should be Yeah, like a doghouse. Let that thing open. But the Friday night before SummerSlam, there was a Cleveland Guardian game, and I forget who they were playing, but it was a walk-off home run, I think. Fireworks and then the streets were filled within seconds, and it was an immediate celebration around the entire city. I mean, it seems like, obviously, you talked about since 1943, so they're starving, but like, it feels like this season has felt special for the Guardians. Is that accurate? Because I'm going back to SummerSlam, and it felt like they were talking about this potentially being the case.
Yeah, because I don't know that going into this season, anyone was anticipating them making a run like this. And look, when you get down 2-0 in a series that's best of 7, it's hard to come back from. If the Guardians had lost that game yesterday, I think that they were cooked. But this showed you, like, they've got fight in them. David Fry was never a big prospect, and to come up in that moment, a game after, by the way, being inserted as a pinch hitter in like the highest leverage spot in the game and popping up on the first pitch he saw, you want to talk about like some comeuppance there. It was pretty great to see Cleveland get to celebrate that moment, because this is a sports town that deserves good things. And getting a good thing like yesterday, they hope that they can take that momentum and even the series today, because it's going to be a really interesting matchup tonight when you've got Luis Gil, who hasn't pitched in 19 days, going for the Yankees, and Gavin Williams, who hasn't pitched in 25 days, going for the Guardians. That's what you get like this time in October, man. It gets desperate. And one of the things that I love about the Major League Baseball playoffs is the 162-game season, right? Like, that's a grind, and that shows your depth, and that shows your ability to stay healthy. It is a totally different game in October when all you're trying to do is get 27 outs in a day, and it doesn't matter how you do it. Maybe it's with a guy who's, going to go out there and throw one inning, and then you're just going to bullpen it the whole way. Or maybe it's a guy who hasn't pitched in 3 weeks and goes and has the game of his life.
Jet, what about
the regular season? Sorry.
Yeah,
I was going to say the regular season is a fugaze. No, but on you, though, AJ. On you, AJ.
Hey, that was very valid. But Shohei, Jet, let's pivot to the Dodgers series. Dodgers, Mets, obviously Dodgers up 3-1. Are we going to see Shohei pitching at any point in this postseason?
I don't think so.
Why is he throwing then?
Come on.
Is that your opinion, or do you know? Are you in with like his interpreter or anyone else?
Good question.
It has. I have asked that question, and the answer is no. Now, look, the Dodgers can change things up. Maybe Shohei goes to them and says, "Hey, I want to pitch." Like, imagine Shohei Ohtani coming in and like closing out the 7th game of the World Series. Like that would be amazing.
Yeah.
But right now, what we're seeing from him is amazing. Yesterday that home run ended one of the weirdest streaks I've ever seen in postseason baseball. With the bases empty going into yesterday, Shohei Ohtani was 0 for 22 this postseason. And with runners on base, he was 7 for 9. And you go back like into the regular season, I think the stretch, he's like 17 for 20, his last 20 plate appearances with runners on base. Guys don't hit, like hitting 300 is incredible. Hitting 800 is impossible. And that's what he's been doing in the most clutch situations. And that's the beauty of the guy, right? We've never seen him in the MLB playoffs, but we have seen him over in Japan. And we did see him in the World Baseball Classic, which meant so much to him and to his countrymen on Samurai Japan. And the guy just steps up in big moments. Like, he meets them, and he has a hunger and desire for them. And having him and Mookie Betts, who went 4 for 6 and drove in 4 runs yesterday at the top of that lineup, after the game, Freddie Freeman, himself a Hall of Famer, was saying, like, what do you do if you're a pitcher when the first 2 guys you're facing are Hall of Famers? Like, that just has to get into your head. And no matter how well you execute, you know that a guy with Ohtani, a guy with Betts' talent, has the ability to beat you anyway.
So this is, you talk about mentality for the pitcher having to go against 2 Hall of Famers immediately to start the night or whatever. How about Shohei's mentality? I like, all day he knew that the conversation about that last game was how many people watched in Japan. So, like, I can't stress enough, like, just as somebody who had to do a job, a profession that was pretty isolated and mentally tasking, kicking and punting both, like, thinking about the first one all day, Okay, he's leadoff for this thing. He just heard that the entire country of Japan was watching. He is Shohei Ohtani. He's batting leadoff. In the second pitch, he takes that thing. Just the other night, too, he puts one almost out of the stadium. It's like, this guy's a machine. That's why I hate that they're saying he's not going to pitch. Let the guy pitch. If he wants to pitch, let the guy pitch, because it feels like he can do no wrong. I mean, he is the Japan thing in the numbers. Now, that's obviously great news for the Dodgers. But is the MLB working on something much, much bigger there? Because I see Shohei's face behind every batter's box. It's like he's got some headphones on, and then you can get some Shohei this and Shohei that. It's like, are they they're profiting obviously off of all of that, but like, how's the relationship between MLB and Japan?
Relationship is great. And I mean, this off season, Pat, there's a chance that a guy named Roki Sasaki could be coming over here. Roki Sasaki is 22 years old. He throws 100 miles per hour, and he might have the best stuff of anyone in the world. And we're in the middle of Japan's, I'm not going to say takeover of Major League Baseball, but this is a golden era for Japanese players in the sport. Remember, yesterday Yoshinobu Yamamoto started for the Mets, or for the Dodgers, rather, a $325 million pitcher who came over this offseason. And then you have Ohtani leading off. Guys, stop it.
What the hell?
Jack, come on. We're just thinking it out. We're riding the wave with you here.
Well, not that wave, but...
I just need to rephrase it. We're gonna start over completely here. All right.
This is Scott Hall. This is Scott Hall and Diesel walking in through the arenas.
I was gonna say, if Ohtani comes out before his at bat today and just goes like for life, it's just gonna be the best. We got the outsiders coming in right now. For life? Come on. Did I not do the for life?
No, you're good. You nailed it. You got to.
Yeah, my hands were a little twitchy. Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, it's because you're a writer. You got a lot of writing. You got a hate
pumped about baseball.
It's those types of things. Ty has a question for you, and also let's not forget Shota Imanaga, friend of. Is that his name?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Friend of the program. Nailed it. Thank you. Thank you. I love it for everything. Mm-hmm. I really do, because it seems like that Korean game, and we watch Korean League. They love baseball. It's like, here we go. Shohei seems to be.
Opening day next year is going to be the Dodgers in Japan. Like, it's
nice.
Dodgers Cubs in Japan. Like,
are they going to do like a? Go ahead.
Like a football stadium.
You could sell a couple 100,000 tickets to that, I assume, if you really wanted to.
No question about it. It's just. You know what? I just love the fact that baseball's it has been an international game, really, like since integration, right? You have players coming from the Dominican Republic, you have players coming from Venezuela, you have players coming from Japan, from Korea. Like, I'm not going to say that baseball is the world sport, but when you look at the construction of the population of the players inside the game, it sure feels a lot like it, because you have guys coming from everywhere.
For life. Speaking of, I've been taking up way too much time. Ty has a bunch of questions for you about actual baseball stuff. That'll be Ty.
Jet, going back to Yankees Guardians, I don't really know how to feel today, because it was such a good game that it's kind of hard to be all poo-poo that they lost. But I don't know if it's a bigger deal that the Guardians came back and won that game, or if like the Yankees are really like that's a backbreaker. But in terms of tonight, who do you think the advantage goes to, considering that both teams' bullpens are kind of taxed after last night? And I know Cleveland's bullpen obviously has been unbelievable. We have some stats from Hembo here. Clase, during the regular season, appeared in 74 games, and he only had 5 earned runs and gave up 2 homers. And in the postseason, he's thrown 5 games, and he already has 6 earned runs, and he's given up 3 homers. And I know that they won last night, so it's not as big of a deal, but I just think back to, I think yesterday it was 19 years, the date Brad Lidge gives up that bomb to Pujols in the NLCS when he's on the Astros, and he's kind of never the same guy after that. Like, do you think the cracks in the Cleveland bullpen, like, will that continue to show? And on the flip side, like, the Yankees bullpen stunk for the last month and a half of the season, and they've been lights out. Like, how do you see that playing out tonight?
There have been very few relievers in this postseason, Ty, on whom Aaron Boone has relied. He has leaned heavily on Luke Weaver.
He's been unbelievable.
Heavily on Clay Holmes, and he has leaned heavily on Tim Hill, and that's about it. And so I think, Tommy Kahnle's pitched a fair number of games too, but I think we're going to see the depth potentially of the Yankees bullpen tonight and just how much it can stand up to the pressure. Like the Guardians, in the meantime, they have like 4 of the top 10 relief pitchers just in innings used during the regular season. Like Stephen Vogt leaned on his bullpen to the extent where you wondered, and we've been wondering for months now, like, are they going to wear down? Are they going to wear out at any point? And you wonder if that's what we're seeing right now. And so I anticipate today is going to be a pretty high-scoring game. I mean, there's a chance that Luis Gil or Gavin Williams is locked in and rested and goes out and one of them throws the game of his life. But it feels like with where the bullpens are right now, with the types of starting pitchers that we're going to have tonight, it feels like it has a chance to be a slugfest.
Okay, so if it is a slugfest, I think that favors the Yankees a little bit more. Have you heard anything in terms of what they might do lineup wise? Like Rizzo last night was kind of weird. He looked unbelievable in games 1 and 2, and he's obviously got the broken fingers he's dealing with. Boone wanted to give him a day off, but then he inserts him late into the game, and he kind of looks shaky at first base. I don't know about that. And then obviously Austin Wells, who was unbelievable all season, has looked like shit during the postseason, but he comes in late. Do you know what the Yankees are going to do lineup wise tonight?
Aaron Boone has been very hesitant to mess around with his lineup a whole lot. He moved Giancarlo Stanton up, so that seemed to be the right thing to do in the moment. But I think that he is going to continue to just lean, rather than on the bottom of his lineup, lean on those guys at the top to carry him. And you don't mess with success, right? And he has had a very successful run this postseason so far. And look, last night for the Yankees, it was not a great night. It did not end well. But the fact that they made the comeback when they did, and particularly the fact that Aaron Judge is hitting now. Like, remember, the Yankees were winning before Judge got hot. Now Judge is hitting like his MVP type self, and it's the kind of bat that can carry them a long way. And so I get your concern with the bottom of the lineup, but to me, it's what the top is doing that's the most important thing.
Jet, who's going to win both these series?
Yeah, good question. Who's going to win? No, who's going to win it all?
Yeah, and then who wins it all? What's the World Series matchup going to be, and then who wins the World Series?
I think the odds there. I think the odds there are correct. I think the Dodgers have just asserted themselves as the dominant team in this series. And look, I hate counting the Mets out, guys, because look at what they've done all year. They have been the cardiac kids. They have been the comeback kids.
You got it, Jet.
Yeah,
you got it.
You got a Jet.
The comeback boys. Yep.
We hear you.
Jet, a couple of the Texas football boys were just yelling at me right there, so I apologize.
No worries.
There was about a 320-pounder down there with a good beard screaming up here. I don't know exactly who he is. Got a nice bellowing voice, though. Seemed confident. Might need to take that into account when I'm picking a game tomorrow. But nonetheless, you like the Dodgers. Minus 130? That seems early to be that big of a favorite going into this thing.
I mean, it's a 3-1 series advantage, Pat. The Mets need to win tonight, and they need to go into Los Angeles and take 2 games there. That is a tough row to hoe.
Yes.
As for the ALCS, it feels like the Guardians at plus 1,100 seems a little high.
Whoa!
Especially, I'm just saying. I do think at the end of the day, that the Yankees are going to win this series. I am from Cleveland. I do think at the end of the day, the Yankees are going to take this series, but this thing could be tied up tonight. And once you get down to a 3-game series in baseball, it's a crapshoot. Like the best team, guys, it's kind of what I like about the baseball postseason. It's not always the best team that wins. It's the team that gets hottest. It's the team that's playing best at that particular moment. So while I do think the Yankees are going to get to the World Series, I think a lot of who wins the World Series depends on just how long of a time they have off, how they can reset their rotation. I think the Yankees are probably going to go in as very slight favorites, especially if they can finish off the Guardians here in a couple of games. But if it's Yankees-Dodgers, I mean, for Major League Baseball, there could not be a better matchup, right? You have the 2 biggest teams in the history of the sport facing off against one another, the 2 most successful teams. You have Aaron Judge versus Shohei Ohtani. you have New York versus LA. Like it really doesn't get a lot better than that.
Agreed. Especially with Shohei leading off with that big ass bat. How big is his bat? How big is his bat? How big is his bat? Shohei's
Normal.
Drive to center field.
Yeah, how big's his wood?
34?
How big is his?
What kind of wood
32,
is it?
34, 36?
Pretty
Maple?
diesel.
I think 34, 31.
That's a big bat.
Hey, this guy's got a telephone pole, doesn't he?
That's a big
Of course he
bat.
does. Wow. Show enough, isn't it? That's what they said about Show enough. Shohei Ohtani. Big old bat on him. That guy. All right. We appreciate the hell out of you, Jet. You're the man.
Boys, it is always a pleasure. It's great being with you, and enjoy that game this weekend, Pat. It's going to be awesome.
Thank you. It is going to be awesome down here. I'm lucky. The whole football team has walked by here. I don't know how many of them have yelled at me. It seems like more than one, less than maybe 15, but a good amount. And you've been giving great answers, so I don't want to be disrespectful. But it feels like the Texas team very confident walking on their field right now. Just if
Okay.
Yeah, something to think. Look at that. Look at these struts.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah.
We zoom.
Hell yeah, boys.
Boys look strong. Oh, look at that.
Oh,
good get on.
Yeah, he's doing a little extra. He's getting extra reps in and walk. Yeah, absolutely. These guys, they're locked in. All right, good luck, boys. All right. Good luck to you too, Jet. You're doing a great job. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Passett. There's some monsters walking down this field. Just a little bit.
It looks like a big old stadium, too. Huh?
100,119 people. I heard it from multiple sources around here. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's huge. And this whole place, we were in a building earlier that we go up, we're on the ground level, then you got one, then you got two. Two is where the meetings were. And we were looking for a bathroom. We're in like one of these older buildings that has a story behind it. I guess Kurt Russell played a character on the University of Texas campus back in the day, former Marine, maybe a sniper, maybe. I don't know.
The Deadly Tower.
Anyways, that was the building we were in. We were in that building.
You were in the tower?
Wow.
Yeah, we were in that building, you know. So like as soon as we walk in, I'm like, damn, this looks like this is an old school building here we're in. And then the security person, as soon as we get in, they're like, yup, actually, in this tire, there's a movie about it. Kurt Russell, I don't know if they want to talk about it, but you should ask a question. I'm like, all right. I'm like, okay. So we're looking for the bathroom. There's none on the second floor. We go up to third floor. They got that thing gate. I mean, there's like a glass lock cage to go up the steps there. I'm like, what's up there? This place is a lot of history here. A lot of history here, a lot of money here, and there's a lot of like fantastic things happening. I saw 9 cranes in the city over here.
Oh, man.
Wow.
9.
Building.
9 cranes in Austin. I mean, they are building and building and building in Austin, and this campus, I think, is buzzing and buzzing and buzzing. And what Sark is doing down here, I think tomorrow's going to be electrifying. And then obviously that leads into the G1 race.
That's right.
Have you seen it? Have you been able to get around? Like, are you just seeing all kind of G1 fans, Pat? Is that what's going on down there? I would imagine your hotel is just overwhelmed by people.
Oh, dude. It's good to see you boys.
Oh, you can kind of hear them.
You can't see the G1 fans because they're so fast.
Hey, team. Hey, team.
Is the race happening in that stadium?
Yeah, where's the race?
No, remember, it's happening on a 1-lane road here. They're actually going, it's one block of Austin, and they're going to all line up, and then they're going to do like a hot
It's like a parade.
one block.
It's like a fast parade.
Let's go straight, right?
I think. I haven't confirmed that, but I think that is potentially what's happening for the G1 race. This city's on fire, man. It is Quinn Ewers, obviously he's back in there. Massive games he's played it. There's a couple this is and his Georgia team, kind of back against the wall. Kind of back against the wall potentially a little bit, this Georgia team. And Kirby Smart's going to have a lot to say, especially after what happened last week against Mississippi State and the whole situation on the sideline and everything else that's going on. It's like there's a lot of shit happening in this game, I think. And Texas has been relatively dominant, and Georgia's been battle-tested. Some people are saying, is that the question mark? Battle-tested team. Tone, you brought it up yesterday, I think, about Ohio State and Oregon.
Yeah, because like last week, Ohio State, they were the number 1 ranked defense going into the game, and they've just been dominating opponents, and then Oregon came in and just put it on them, especially on the offense side of the ball. And it's very similar this week. Like, Georgia has been battle-tested. They didn't look great last week against Mississippi State. They didn't look great against Kentucky. They lose to Alabama. But, like, Texas is now the number 1 defense in the nation, and they have just dominated everybody. But, like, you don't really know until these teams have played anybody, and this will be Texas's first test for sure.
Yeah, I guess it's their first test, Pat. As you're yelling, I think there's a lot of the current players maybe having a little walkthrough right now. They're trying to get your attention, aren't they?
I'm telling you, every single guy and then there's a batch of specialist boys, I believe, over here hanging out. They looked very jocked, by the way.
Wow,
This group, what are you guys doing? You doing walkthrough right now? Just finished walking. How do we feel? We feel pretty good? Oh, the boys are confident. I want to let everybody know. It's a beautiful day down here in Austin. What's next for you guys? Anything?
Yeah. Got class.
Oh, class. They don't have class.
No,
I had class
Friday.
on Friday.
You
I had
guys
class
still
on
have
Friday
class?
mornings during the season.
Okay, pal.
They're not here for
Terrible.
school.
I don't think you guys should have to go to class today.
No.
They play Georgia tomorrow.
Big game.
Yeah, come
I had
on.
like an 8:30 class every Friday. I'd get there. I'd like rush to our walkthrough.
Biggest game in the last 10 years.
That's probably why you're number 5 overall, and I was 222, pal.
Well, they checked our classes.
We got Georgia
They
tomorrow.
checked for attendance. That's the big reason.
Yeah, me too. There's always ways, you can figure that whole thing out. There's always ways you can figure that whole thing out, but we don't need any added things getting entered into the brain, okay? We got a tough Georgia team tomorrow. We got to make kicks tomorrow. We got big punts tomorrow. We got good snaps tomorrow.
Yeah.
We don't need to be learning about whatever bullshit's happening on a Friday class, okay? Unless it's a test. No offense, teachers. Unless it's a test. We need all eyes on Georgia tomorrow, okay? Hook 'em is what needs to be thinking about because the whole world's going to be here. Georgia fans travel very well, okay? And I'm not saying there's going to be a lot of spots here, but then you add in all the super yups that are in town for the G1.
Sure.
And then all their friends, right? So all the super yups that have football friends, right, which just seemingly happens, they're inviting all of them.
Be a lot of
The amount of
stars.
planes
So some
that were at that
casuals.
airport.
You'll see a decent amount of casuals there from the G1 situation that they're going to be invited into their rich friends' suites and boxes
Boom.
there.
They're going to go
Yeah,
nuts.
it feels like a bowl game. Like that.
Yeah.
That's what the FBO looked like. That whenever we got here, it was like traffic. This place in the traffic. Or I'm not going to say.
Well, the
Yeah,
last,
9 cranes.
Well, the
you
last
know.
10 years, haven't a billion people moved to Austin? I mean, it's growing huge.
The traffic here is crop. It is. It's crop. It's tough to get around. I assume it's a lot of bicycles and maybe scooters.
Sure.
Maybe doing the
Okay.
whole thing.
Scooters are sweet.
I think that's probably not a bad play. You guys, traffic always crop around here? Always. And then obviously they said this week.
They big G1 fans? Are they excited for
You guys
that?
going to the big G1 race on Sunday? No, they play football.
Yeah. Locked in on.
I'm not going to that. There's no chance I'm going. Come on, you knew that. You knew that before you even said it. You want to go? Okay. I don't know.
Call D-Butt.
I have to make it happen.
Go
yeah.
D-Butt.
D-Butt.
D-Butch called?
These guys play for Texas. They'll be able to walk on the damn track if they want to.
That's right.
Hell yeah.
You know? And you can feel it. You can feel it. When I was coming out of high school, I was just telling Brosio about this on the way over. Maybe Reese Davis was in the car with me. I wanted to go to Texas. I wanted to play for Texas because that was back whenever they were awesome. Vince was doing his thing. The fans were crazy. Mac Brown was running his thing. Sent a film down, kicking a 70-yard field goal. Never got a call.
Nothing?
Never got a call. I don't know how you don't watch that and offer scholarship, but Mac Brown either didn't see it or didn't offer. And I asked him about it whenever I was calling one UNC game, and he told me there was no way that got in front of his eyes because he would have offered me immediately. And I said, thank you, Mac. I appreciate that so much. But it's like, you can feel it. It's a football town, and it's a football tradition and football history, and it's lucky to be here, boys. Very lucky to be here.
Isn't Coach Stark going to join you from up there eventually today?
Yeah, Coach Stark will be here. Coach Saban. So Coach Saban's going to be like, I think, 12:10 local, Central Time, good one.
Oh,
It's
awesome.
The best one.
Central, yeah, perfect.
Central Time is a good one. So 12:10 local, 1:10 Eastern. Saban's going to be on, and then Sark, I think, is 12:30, 1:30.
Sweet.
I think immediately afterwards. I will say, trying to book that with one person speaking in Eastern Time Zone and one person in Central Time Zone, I had to make the jump to Central Time Zone to connect the dots on the conversation.
Sure.
I was talking Eastern Time Zone. I thought we had quite a mix-up going on,
Yeah.
So that's, but Central Time Zone's a good one. It is a very good one around there.
Oh, it's by far the best. I think it's awesome, but I wanted to quickly pivot and see if you saw this whole Tom Brady situation. Tom Brady walked in. I know we talked about it and we showed in the video. Do you think it's a big deal, Pat, that he can't watch a practice? He can't criticize people. He can't do anything. Like, he's still going to be fine on the broadcast. People are acting like he's going to be, one hand tied behind his back.
Well, he hasn't been able to do it all season, allegedly. So whatever we've heard from Tom Brady, it already happens. Now, 5 years from now, if the offense has changed drastically and the players change drastically and the coaches change drastically, I think there's certainly an effect that could be felt. But as he separates from playing, I think there could be a little bit of maybe a disconnect in the future. For now, no. I see this as Tom Brady could pick up another job, because like the actual hours of this whole thing are like the meeting times and traveling for the meetings and traveling to watch practices and being there for the production meetings that are happening normally on site at these places. So it's like that travel, that amount of hours, that I assume he'll have to read the notes from all those things, but he can cram those in near game time. It's like, I think he could pick up another job. I legitimately, that's how I viewed this. As soon
Yeah,
as
this
I read
freed up
it,
a bunch
and
of time, don't you think? Didn't you see that when this happened?
so much time. And obviously all those meetings are very important to a lot of people, and they've been happening since the beginning of football. And I assume you had to go to those, AJ, the night before games and everything like that?
Absolutely, yeah. They definitely help. You can gain some information, but you can also not go and still be fine.
Bingo, if you're Tom Brady.
You get the notes, too, from the producers, the other people. They're going to hand you directly the notes.
It was the criticizing thing that I think most people.
Yeah, so what? You can't criticize the refs now or a coach's decision?
Refs,
How's that work?
You can't question the ref's decision. You can't question a 2-minute decision.
We talked about who enforces the rules, though.
Good question.
Yeah, and what is the level of criticism? If it's an objectively bad call, what are we talking about?
So, I mean, it can go, let's go a couple different ways, because, if some of the owners, let's say, what is it? How many have to vote? 24. What is the number?
24 of them, yeah, out of 30.
24 on any given day. So let's say that 23 of them, feel a certain way about things that have been happening, maybe in the refs. What if they hit Tom Brady and they go, hey, listen, need you to hit this, actually. Need you to hit this. Need you to, it's like, well, I'm not allowed to criticize the refs. It's like, actually, some of us have been looking for a little bit of, a little public change. There is a chance that happens too, because to your point of who enforces it, are they going to vote to enforce these punishments on a fellow owner?
Yeah.
Because then it opens up, precedent for future things. If it's Goodell that's going to be doing the one punishing, is he actually doing it, or is it the owners doing it for him? Are they trying to set precedent for future ownership in the booth? It's like, I don't think any of us really know how this is going to go, because if there's a bunch of owners trying to get Tom to do something for him, then it's almost like he's giving them another avenue to speak about stuff. It's
a little bit, Pat. I don't want to cut you off. I don't want to cut you off with the boys behind yours. They're
bringing the boom, Pat.
There's a group behind you trying to get your attention.
They are
bringing the boom.
There it is. Boom. Wow. Vibes in Texas. All-time high.
There we go.
We bring the boom. That's what we do. We bring the boom. We bring the boom to you. Boom.
That's all.
I don't know how that guy can be on a phone while that's happening right next to him. Can he feel the?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, he's probably reading the boom meter.
Texas boys are loose.
We felt the boom all the way up here. Thank you for bringing it to us. Thank you.
Still bringing it.
It's big in that locker room.
Everything's bigger in Texas too. Think about this fucking boom that's happening.
Oh my God!
Yeah, they're huge now.
Everything's bigger in Texas, boys. It's true. Those booms are big. Yeah, boom. Yeah, hell yeah. Oh shit, the specialists all booming over here too. So is that something we doing? Are we all in? We're all booming. Yeah. Look, can you get the camera over here?
Yeah, why on different levels?
Yeah.
Where's everybody?
That's what they do.
They bring the boom. Bring the boom to you.
Man, this kid's taking over the world.
I'll tell you what, Big Costco and Little Costco should be excited. I haven't seen a gimmick like this catch on in a long time. I guess the gritty would be
sure. Yep.
maybe. Yeah. And I guess this one, hey, I guess we got.
Yeah, that one
That's good now.
That's going.
Good now.
But boy, it's not easy to get the Macarena, bro. It's
No,
not easy.
Exactly.
The Cupid Shuffle doesn't just pop up overnight. This thing, Big Costco and Little Costco, and of course the Rizzler, and the whole family. Grandma, Uncle Rizzler, the whole
is everybody
thing.
related or not?
No.
Cousin Jello, you don't think he's part of the family? Yeah, Cousin Jello is part of the family. Yeah, what are we talking about?
How Italians are.
Yeah, you're right. I guess.
Well, what did you mean by that?
Loyal.
Well, you know what I meant.
Upstanding citizens.
We
Good
are
friends.
We
He's
love
my
our
cousin.
We love our
He's my
family.
cousin. He's a nice
We do
guy.
Sunday dinners with the whole family.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, we do.
Hey, come over for Sunday pasta. Yeah, it's my cousin.
It's Sunday sauce.
All right. Yeah, Sunday gravy, whatever you want to call it. But nonetheless, this is a professional wrestler whose entire family is in on the gimmick.
Yeah.
And I think he should be commended. As I learned of this very late about Big Costco, Little Costco. Okay?
We all did.
And I learned about this very late, just within a matter of the last few days. Okay? And I wanted to hate it. This seemed like everything that I would hate, for sure. Baby Gronk, baby Gronk, hated it.
Yeah.
Hated all of it.
Yeah.
Okay, if it feels forced, don't like it. So I watch that, and there's some videos, I guess, of him potentially coaching and stuff like that. But it feels like Little Costco 100% loves it.
Yep.
Feels like the Riz loves it. Grandma's in on it. Uncle or cousin Jello, Uncle Rizzler. I mean, the whole team in on his wrestling gimmick, which is,
Bring the boom!
This guy's a worker, brother. This guy's old school professional wrestler. He's living his gimmick, and his whole family's doing it. And it's like selling merch, making appearances. It's like this dude is just a professional wrestler through and through. And it's like
Put Costco on the map. Yeah, you got my 7-year-old asking me for chicken bake and has no idea what he's talking about.
Well, don't give him too much.
was on the map, okay.
Even Costco says we're the Costco guys.
Exactly.
Bars in the middle of that thing.
Bar.
So
by the way.
I'm a fan. I don't know what the fuck is.
Yeah,
there it is.
There it is. You got
bring
it.
the boom.
You got it.
That's what
There
we
it is. Yeah,
do.
you're
We
feeling
bring
it
the
out.
boom.
Think about all the whites that can do that too. That's a good
all of
idea.
Great idea. Halloween coming up. Can you imagine what's going to go down with Halloween coming up?
So many kids.
Oh my god. And the no bull shirt. I've listened to their bars too. Not that terrible. There's a couple sophisticated bars in there. Some very elementary ones. I think Grandma really brought it. I think Cousin Jello did well.
Sure.
Uncle
Is that his
Rizzler.
name? Cousin Jello?
Yeah.
Angelo.
Oh, okay.
It's Angelo.
Jello for
Jello.
sure.
That's how you.
I just wondered.
Obviously, you've never been around.
I'm learning
Italian
a lot
family.
of it too. I mean, I've been around.
Just one Italian, please, AJ. Go around one Italian person. Okay, just try it.
Okay,
it'll be
I'll
great.
try.
You'll love it.
I'll try. I got tons of Italian friends. You know that.
No, you don't.
Okay, go on.
Youngstown. Youngstown, like Sig Signetti. I know 30 guys like Sig Signetti.
What do you mean, like him?
You don't
There's
know
no
anybody.
other guy
Yeah.
like
The
Sig
same aura.
Signetti.
No, nobody is Sig Signetti. He's one of one. I'm saying like the aura, the confidence. Hey, come check the pool. I got a pool. I got a putting green. I got a tennis court.
gotta
It's like
see my house.
Those guys.
The panache.
I got a lot
see
of
my
friends.
house,
Yeah, I got buddies like that.
I got pool, hot tub, basketball court, putting green. Got a whole deal. You got to come see my house.
I mean,
Look at the countertops.
Hey,
They're marble.
Coach
Look at marble. They're marble.
Hey, Coach Signetti, I have a question for you. What was the entire itinerary for that flight out to, or that trip out to UCLA for that football game, Coach?
SID wants to, hey, we got to go out there Thursday, get there. I said, no. We're not doing that. I would get out there late, get the hotel by 8 p.m., have dinner late at night, wake up early next morning, go out there, 3:30 game, kick their ass, go home. That's I like my house.
No analytics.
Get back to my house. Like I said, got pool, hot tub, basketball court, putting green, whole nine. You got to come see
He's
it,
the
Pat.
best. I will. Fucking Coach, I will. I love that guy. He was great on our show. There's people calling for him to be a weekly guest in the game day meeting.
Oh,
man.
love that.
You need to have that guy on. They got a huge one against Nebraska this weekend. He knows that too. That's why he said, congratulations. We're halfway through the race. What are we congratulating for? They got a massive one this weekend, but obviously he knows that, and what he's done down there has been awesome. Pittsburgh guy, West Virginia guy, football guy. We love him. And that's why we love him.
Why we love him.
Yeah, hopefully Indiana steps up because I know a bunch of teams are probably going to be coming after Sig Signetti, Pat, as we have a hard out here coming in a little bit. But you got Saban coming on at 1:10 Eastern, 12:10 Central, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And then Coach Sark will join you live at 12:30 Central, 1:30 Eastern. Correct.
You nailed it, brother.
Okay.
You absolutely nailed it.
Wow.
The clock that I have here is one of these ones.
Oh, nice.
Sweet.
Yeah. So
I think
hard
our
out's
one, we
tough
got
for me.
about 3. We'll take a quick break. See you in a little bit.
I'll tell you what, after last week, I have no idea what to expect. I will say, since Kirk Herbstreit is rolling around in a Bentley right now to a plane, Nick Saban will be the holder today for the field goal kicking contest. $80,000. Rob McElwainey's here, obviously absolute dog, owner of Wrexham, obviously his soccer team, and also It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I think you have 10 other investments. This guy might be a billionaire. I have no idea, but he is awesome and entertaining. Kyle, you're a junior here, correct?
Yes, that's correct, Pat.
Have you ever talked any trash about kickers before?
Of course I have, Pat. Come on now.
This was his sign that he brought today. This guy. Is there anything you'd like to say to him before your first hold on TV?
Good luck, man. That's all I can tell you. I'm rooting for you.
Did you ever hold before?
Yeah, when I was in high school. That was a long time ago.
Okay, you're going to do great. Rob, former soccer player, maybe sign him to Wrexham after he makes this kick or no?
Look how confident he looks. I mean, I would be shaking. He seems very, very confident. I think he's going to make it.
Go! Go! 80,000, Kyle! All you got to do is put it through the uprights. Nick Saban, the greatest of all time, on the call. Oh, no. Oh, no. Spot. Throw a completion down the left side.
Wow. I said give him another kick.
Rob, he immediately blamed the whole here. Okay.
I don't know, but it looked like it was coming back. It wanted to come back. If it had a little bit more distance, it might have gone in.
Coach Saban, does he deserve another kick, you think, or what? Oh, no, Steve, bad throw.
Another kick.
I want to make Coach die.
That's smart, yeah, make him play. Coach, you think he deserves another shot?
Let's give him another shot.
Okay.
Make it.
This one for $100,000, Kyle. Nick's looking out for me here a little bit of coaching.
Where it's, yeah.
Rob, what was your
right
did you graduate?
I did not go to college, so I've adopted Oregon as my home.
If you were to go, would general social sciences be your thing? Hey, hold on, Kyle. Good luck.
Come on, Kyle.
$100,000 in Oregon. Oh, what about? Hey, all right, Kyle, I feel like you hustled me a little bit.
Yeah.
Your second kick was so much better than your first. Shout out to Nick for the hold.
How important is the holder? Hold is the most important thing.
Great, man. Congratulations. That's great.
This thing is getting expensive, Reese.
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
What?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pig.
Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Hour 2 of the Pat McAfee Show, October 18th. Feel Good Friday, boys. Pat is down in Austin, Texas. I'm AJ Hawk sitting in at his desk as he watches football tomorrow.
Football.
There we go. Pat, obviously down at DKR. Is it just DKR or not DKR Field? What is it?
No, it's DKR Memorial Stadium.
Okay. Gotcha.
Texas
Okay.
Memorial Stadium.
Campbell Williams Field, it looks like, top left of the screen.
Yeah, Darrell K. Royal Texas Memorial Stadium at Campbell Williams Field is right down there.
Yeah. Okay, that's good to know.
That field right there. It used to be somebody else's, and then Campbell Williams was like, you know what? You guys can have a stadium. I want the fucking field. And they gave it to him. Campbell Williams. Congrats to them. What a good field they have.
Like Nick Saban Field, right?
Yeah. Bingo. He's just greatest of all time. Got a field. So
Yeah.
Campbell Williams Field, I would assume Campbell Williams. I think it's actually found Campbell Soup. Campbell Soup. I think.
Might be.
Yeah, I think it's Campbell Soup. Great instead of good idea to get the field, and then had to find somebody else. And the Williams family came in after winning all those tennis Grand Slams, and it's Campbell Soup and Serena Williams.
I thought that was the case too. It's actually Earl Campbell and Ricky Williams, couple Texas running backs.
Oh,
holy shit!
Is it
That's the
really?
right thing to do.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that.
I was going to say, I was going to mention Earl Campbell. It's really after
It's Earl
them.
Campbell and Ricky Williams.
Good for
Well,
them.
they deserve-
Good for
that is
Texas.
awesome.
that's sick.
Yeah, instead of taking the paycheck out of this entire thing, they actually honor to it. Yes, that is amazing. Once again, you can kind of sense it.
Yeah.
You can kind of sense it. Already.
That's Texas, baby.
That's football.
I mean, they're all about
You
ball.
can-
They're all about ball, right?
Yeah, how could you not be?
Thank
Great state
God.
of Texas.
Yeah, you're right.
You ever see these high school stadiums around here? You ever see these high school stadiums around
Oh,
here?
yeah.
$60 million.
Seat 50,000 people.
Get you one of these. You play in one of them stadiums, you get you one of these.
You ever hear the movies and watch the movies that come out about Texas high school football? You ever see Varsity Blues?
Huh?
Come on.
Probably the best
Have
football
you?
movie of
Huh?
all time.
Have you?
Varsity Blues might be. Varsity Blues and The Program are my two favorite football
New Tweeter
movies.
Enzo
Friday Night
dance.
Lights.
Okay. I'm just saying, Texas is football. You know, crab cakes in football, they say, up there in Maryland, which mad respect for their crab cakes. They're the real deal. And the Baltimore Ravens are certainly good at football, so let's not get crazy. But, like, Texas is like,
it's football.
It's like, and you can tell. And you can say, yeah, exactly. You think ranching? You think of great country music and great rap music.
Yeah.
You think great rap music. Yeah. I was blaring some Paul Wall earlier, obviously.
The Big X the
Mike
Plug.
Jones.
Yep.
Big X the Plug. Yep, that was actually on my Instagram story.
Saw
Big
that.
Jump from Texas. Yeah, I mean, the whole played only Texas music on the way down here. Great music, I feel like. George Strait, play a little bit of that.
Right.
Parker McCollum, play a little bit of that, obviously. You dabble. But then as soon as you land, you say, great country music, great meat. Great meat around here.
Oh, yeah.
Barbecue.
Oh, beef.
They know how to cook some meat around here, okay? And there's lines outdoors whenever people are trying to get their meat at the barbecues around here, and then all roads lead back to football. This is a football place, and you can sense it, you can feel it. And tomorrow's a big one down here, AJ.
Have you seen Scotty Scheffler yet? I know he is the celebrity guest picker tomorrow for you guys.
Yeah, I've seen him on my TV through the entire
In a
golf
jail cell.
season.
Whoa.
Yeah, I didn't see him in jail cell. Do we have any footage of him in the jail cell? Because I would like to ask about that tomorrow on College Game Day. Real journalistic standard stuff. I will certainly do that. But Scotty Scheffler, what you say about him? What did he, Ty? How did AJ describe Scotty Scheffler's personality? Do you remember this?
What did I say?
Yeah, he said he was like a wet paper bag.
That's what he said. Yeah. AJ goes. That's what you said.
A wet blanket.
I would never say that. I've never said paper bag. I've called people wet blankets before.
No,
They called me a wet blanket at times. But no, I would never say that about the great Scooty Scheffler.
You did, though. At the very beginning of Scooty Scheffler's run, you said a lot of people in the golf world, which we know what that means. That means your brain is thinking this and you're assuming others agree. You said people are saying he's got no personality. They're saying he's a wet blanket. It's like, I think the more we've learned about Scotty, great personality, always the same, and his play in itself is worthy of being must-watch television. So, let alone the promos that he can cut on a microphone, and he's seemingly like the nicest human of all time, even when he's getting arrested. You're like, well, I'm so scared. Like, what did nicest guy of all time? But his golf is electrifying. Like, it is so much fun to watch, especially with how much he moves whenever he's swinging. This guy's swinging out of his shoes, and he's better than everybody. It's like, I can't wait to sit down next to him. Legitimately, I think he's a great pick for a guest picker, and I assume he's going to do well. I assume he's going to do well.
I just heard him on Colton Oast, the podcast that he has, Pat. He and Stone.
The Gravy and Sleeves.
My bad. Yeah, that's not the name of it, but yes. I listened to Scooty. Hey, Shefty's got a personality. Shefty's talking about
Nosy and Stink.
There it is. He talks about gambling, though.
The Gravy and the Sleeves.
No,
the
it's Sleeves. It's not called any of those. But
They did not deserve this. They did not deserve this. We love them. We do. We appreciate it.
But Scotty talks on there about taking money from Romo in those money games they play all the time down there. That's what those guys do. Like think about it. If you're a professional golfer, that's the only way you can put that pressure on you that you want to try to simulate standing over a putt is if it's actually worth something.
Yeah, so that's why I try to do with those kicks on game day. It's like, if we were to have a sponsor do that segment, they'd be like, all right, $1,500 for this kick. It's like, that's no pressure. Right. $1,500, no pressure. Let's put real money on this. Let's put $100,000 on. Let's put some real money, because that is what kicking is like. And obviously, we've gotten a couple second attempts, but it's like, for Scotty Scheffler to be able to perform whenever he's at the Masters or any of these other things, how would you mentally be able to get prepared for that other than potentially taking Tony Romo's money? We have to have a little bit of something on this. Whenever I'm looking over this putt, there has to be some sort of significance. Now, he said that Tony Romo pays him in checks, and then a couple weeks later, he'll return the check if Tony somehow doubles down and gets $200. And Tony goes, this isn't money. He goes, it was never money. And then it was a good story, actually. Good delivery, punctual, like everything that Scotty Scheffler did. But he's in his prime right now, and he's cold-blooded on the golf course.
He is 27, right? He should be entering his prime.
He'll be in his prime for the next 15 years if he stays healthy.
So much fun to watch. Now, there's always the people that are going to say, well, there's split leagues. It's like, well, let's look at the majors then. And then let's
How
just...
about that?
He's playing against a course, brother. He's not playing against anybody else right now, and he is dominating these courses. I can't wait to see what he does in his pick segment tomorrow. We've been on a good run, man. We've been on a good run here game day with the pickers and the environment and the atmosphere.
The environment's been crazy.
Curse has been broken.
Crazy.
Yeah, the home team won.
Yeah.
From game day.
Yeah.
Couple times broken.
Do you know any Texas, Austin, Texas, kind of like crowd favorites or anything you can do that you're going to do interactive tomorrow?
I haven't got a chance to walk around town. I tried to do a little bit of research with like the locals that were in the meeting. I guess like Texas fight is their thing. I guess that's a big thing. And they do just like in Oklahoma where you just say da-da, and then they say sucks, and then you can throw whatever in there and sucks, and then da-da-da, you just kind of lead them through there. I'm going to ask them, about parts of the United States of America and how they feel about them. Nice. I'm going to go, OU, and then they're going to say sucks, and I'm going to go Northeastern America, and just hear what they say. See if they, see if
cool. We love it.
So cool.
Northeastern America.
Indifferent.
Yeah. Don't care.
Yeah, we'll see how they go. No, I'm joking. Tonight, I guess there's some songs though that the students will know, and that'll happen whenever me and Gumpy kind of mosey around and try to be as low key as possible while also like learning as much as possible. It's not an easy feat. Yeah. Hat gets real low. Sunglasses go on. This week, I forgot my sunglasses. Got Gumpy's sunglasses. I don't know if you saw this when I was wearing them earlier when the sun was out. These things don't even really reach my ear.
No.
Okay?
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This
is a Gumpy.
Yeah,
are you serious,
This is a Gumpy. This is a Gumpy production here, these sunglasses. And I'm very thankful that Gumpy had 2 sunglasses.
What size hat does Gumpy wear?
Small.
It might be a 4.
7 piece.
Oh, okay.
6
I didn't know.
6 1/4.
7, I said. 8.
Oh, I didn't hear you right, Goop. I'm sorry.
You guys going to 6th Street tonight?
Go to a stand-up
I think
set at the mothership.
That'd be sweet.
I don't think I'm going to do one, but I certainly. I'm going to try to go see that place, I think.
I think there's a rocket launch tonight.
Yeah, check out SpaceX maybe, see
Yeah.
what the aliens are doing.
Really? Because that is in town, isn't it? It seems like everything, 9 cranes. I talked about that. Everything is building up around here. We have a special guest that just showed up. Let me set this up, AJ.
Oh, yeah, here we go. As Pat gets Coach Saban set up. Tony, are you serious? Is there really a rocket launch tonight?
I don't think
They don't, even if it's...
They launch
them every day.
They launch
All
them
the
much
time.
not right in Austin. Obviously, it's farther away.
Off the roof.
from the Pentacrest in the campus. That's where they launch them.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
See, every video I ever see, people are backed up like miles.
It's these new age
It's
rockets,
crazy. You got
man.
these new rockets that don't kill everybody around them.
Yeah, they don't even use like gas or fire.
What do they use?
They just love
alien technology.
Water.
Like those little things we
it's
see.
water.
No, someone steps on the little pump.
Yeah.
And then
Oh yeah,
They
my
ride
kids
the bike,
kids have those little Nerf toys just
exactly.
like that.
That's what they use.
that's what they do.
Oh, there's a
They
launch in
bring the
Florida.
boom.
Zeke just got back to me. 7:31 Eastern. There's a launch in Florida tonight, Tone. So you weren't that far off.
No,
You'll be
I
able
knew
to
it
see
was
it.
tonight. I just didn't know which location they were doing it from.
Okay, well I can't wait.
You know how that goes.
The good thing is, here we go, Pat. I believe you and Coach Saban have everything
Coach.
situated,
Ladies and
right?
gentlemen, Coach Saban.
Yeah.
And they had us muted, Coach. They couldn't hear a word you were saying. What's going on, brother? Oh, he's still muted.
Oh no.
Hold on, you're still muted. Oh, no.
They're trying to cancel you, Coach.
I just wanted to know what the hell you guys talking about.
We're talking about rocket launches.
launches.
We're talking about
Rocket
launches.
Okay.
SpaceX.
We're going to space here in Austin. You know that? Elon moved the rockets here, so when the aliens come back, right here's the city they're going to do it in, brother. Right here.
Okay, I got you.
I think you should be one of the ones
Who
to talk
cares?
to him, by the way.
Who cares?
Not me.
Yes.
I read his book. I have a lot of respect for what the guy's been able to do and accomplish. And, you think when he did it, he's saying, wow, that's out there, but he did it.
I think
So-
he's an alien, actually. That's all alleged. Those are my thoughts. Okay, the guy has become a billionaire like 8 different times, and then he built his own rocket ships to go back home, and then comes back, and we're all just like, yeah, it's normal. Okay, we got it. Congrats, Elon and SpaceX. Anyway, this city, Austin, okay, tomorrow, hosting a massive one. And this morning in the meeting was funny listening to you kind of chat about this. Sark, obviously, you and he have a great relationship, a great connection. I've had a lot of success together. Kirby Smart and you, obviously great connection, great relationship, a lot going on. How do you think both of them are viewing tomorrow, and have you got a chance to catch up with them this week?
Well, I talked to Sark this week, and, I think Sark is, he kind of stays pretty even keel. He sort of analyzes the game a little differently in terms of, how he's going to approach it, what he's going to do. He's had his offensive staff together for a long time, so they know they're going to have to make adjustments in the game because of his respect for Kirby and the way Kirby will play defense and what he'll try to do on defense is going to be something a little bit different that they'll have to adjust to. But having a staff on offense that's been together for a long time, I think allows them to do that. They kind of started a little slow last week against Oklahoma, then all of a sudden you see them getting going. So that wouldn't surprise me if that happens. I did not talk to Kirby. I'm going to talk to him a little later today, but I know Kirby's been a little concerned about, how they play defense. Not quite as good a tackling team as they've been in the past. They've given up a few more explosive plays, but he's got a really good defensive coaching staff. He's got good players, and I'm sure they'll get him on track.
He was all fiery last week. I don't know if you saw that. He tried to tackle a guy, punch him in the face. that wasn't. It was actually just a little shoulder bump. But boy, it was a big deal because it felt like Kirby was kind of out of sorts a little bit, and that's kind of been this Georgia team maybe in a couple different spurts of the season. It's like, are they still the same? That's kind of the conversation that's taking place. You don't think Kirby's thinking that, or how do you think Kirby's handling all of it?
No, I think Kirby is got a really good ability to be technical when things aren't going exactly right. I think, sometimes all the rest of us outside of, the fans and some of the people, react a little more emotionally. But, the real key to the drill is I think when things aren't going well with your team, you have to sit down and be technical and show them these are the things we need to improve on, not get emotional and go crazy, because the players want to play well. I mean, nobody feels worse when something doesn't go right than the player. So it's not just about the coach. And I think Kirby was always really good at that when he was a defensive coordinator with us. When we had a bad game or we didn't defend something properly, he was really good about being technical about how to fix it.
Yeah, both these guys obviously went to the Saban University of Coaching and now having massive success. Top 5 matchup yet again. Another time this season we have a marquee matchup that we get to be at and chit-chat about. Have you ever, because this is Texas, Georgia, first time SEC, obviously. These new alignments are bringing these new games earlier in the year. I think everybody's pumped about it, and the ratings are saying that. Have you ever played out here, and what do you expect of this type of environment for Georgia?
Yeah, we played out here 2 years ago. First game we...
Oh, yeah, we were here.
Yeah, we opened. Yeah.
Wait, we called that game. Yeah, we were on the sideline again.
It's like 125 degrees in the shade. It was really tough. But, the atmosphere here, I think you're going to see it grow into more and more of a SEC atmosphere because they're going to have more games like this that are going to have huge national and playoff, implications. And, the people here will, they'll get into it because they'll go see some of these other places. And, Texas has great tradition, but I think their fans are going to become SEC fans in a hurry.
Allegedly, the stadium ops, the one in Alabama we talked about. AJ, that Alabama stadium, the way it is operated is awesome, right? Yes. We talked about that.
The best. Unbelievable experience for game days, yeah.
So that was Miss Terry's, from what I've been told, Miss Terry is the coach of that operation whenever the Sabans move into Alabama's head coaching operation. Allegedly here, they hired somebody like 4 or 5 years ago from Penn State that kind of started that entire thing. And they said over the last few years, like the stadium ops and the way that matters. I don't think people really think about it. It does matter how the stadium is.
It matters a whole bunch because, you got dead time in the game. You got these 4-minute commercials, you got 2.5-minute commercials, but, this is the entertainment business, and to keep people engaged, you have to have other things going on in the game. And it was really dry when we first went to Alabama, and everywhere we'd go, Miss Terry went to all the away games, everywhere we'd go, she would come back and say, why don't we do that? Why don't we play this music during that? Why don't we have these lights? And it's entertaining, and people sing songs and light up their phone at the same time and do the wave. I mean, that's the fun of the game that I think keeps people engaged, excited, and enthusiastic, and I think it's very important.
Yeah, keeps them engaged so that when a random third down comes in the middle of the third quarter or the middle of the second quarter, and they've been tailgating all day, they haven't fallen off waiting for the fourth quarter. It's like they're in it, and that's
unreal. They stay in it.
Have you heard these choppers that have been flying over? There's choppers flying over. They've been here all day, Karen.
Someone's going to rappel down in a second.
Legit. There's a chopper right up there. Some bitch turning sideways. I don't know if we can get it because we're on the concourse here, doing a lap. It's a big weekend, but the lights are actually, I think, kind of being tested right now here up at the top. We saw Tennessee's social media team. They put out what their stadium is like. All these lights going pitch black, and then the music matching up with it. Looked like a nightclub for like 4 or 5 minutes, and then bang, they were right back to action. It's like, how can you not be invested in the game there? Excited to see what this is like tomorrow. AJ has a question for you, Coach.
Coach, you mentioned this is the entertainment business. Have you always thought that way, or is that something that evolved as you got older in the coaching game? I know there's some coaches that are, want to put their head down and say all it matters is what happens on the field in between those lines, and they don't think about all that other stuff that actually does impact the game.
Well, I think that I realize that it's the entertainment business, but I also wanted to keep the team and the things that you had to do with the team to get the team ready to play and sort of create the culture in the organization that you needed to have, not to allow that to be affected by the entertainment business, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, you got to separate the two, church and state.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be able to focus on the main thing.
That's
but
right.
then also, whenever the main thing's happening, we need everybody else to be doing their job as well.
That's exactly right. So, good question, but I always tried to keep those two things separate. But I also knew as a coach, you needed to do that to promote the program, to get recruits, to see, so people had an image of what the program was all about. Plus, it's also, important for the university itself. I don't think anybody really realizes that the football program is probably the window that most people look at a university. It's not the engineering school. It should be.
Right. Mad respect to the engineers. Mad respect.
But they look at it through the athletic program, and so to understand that and make it an entertaining part of what you're doing for people outside, I think creates value for the university, it creates value for the program, creates value for your team.
Yeah, the brand can be strong, and that'll help out the football team because more eyes on your program, more money coming into your program, more interest in your program means more five-star recruits. And to quote the great Nick Saban, I found out quickly I can't coach bad players.
Can't coach bad players to play good. Really.
Now, you were one of the first coaches, I think. They give you credit. You and Beamer, I believe, is who the game day people give credit to. For whenever game day wanted to come to town, you were very, would like to have game day here, kind of understood it all. Hey, so I think to AJ's question, he's been like this, I think, since the beginning, right? You've kind of understood that you can.
Absolutely. I think, what you give in terms of your time and the investment that you make in cooperating with ESPN and people coming and game day and all that is well worth the return that you get because of the value that it creates from an image standpoint.
And it's like Sark knows that. Sark's coming on the show today. He doesn't have to. Obviously doesn't have to. Very thankful for it. I think he's coming on. Everybody that has come from the Saban University understands the vehicle and the avenue of hey, it's okay if people get to know my personality a little bit. It's probably going to help in recruiting and see my face and see the big time thing. You're awesome, brother. Tone Diggs has a question for you, Coach Saban.
Yeah, Coach. Indiana has a big one this weekend as Nebraska comes to town. IU is 6-0. And I think you're familiar with their coach, Kurt Signetti. He was on your staff for a few years down in Alabama. Did you ever think he would have this success? And what's Signetti like behind closed doors?
Yeah, well, I've always thought Kurt had the right stuff because I actually coached for his dad. His dad was the coach when I was at West Virginia. His dad was really well organized, very good recruiter. Kurt came up in, that environment, coach's environment. He's very smart, bright. He was a receiver coach for us, but has a great offensive mind and is a really good quarterback coach. And I think, there's a lot of people who call plays that are offensive coordinators, but they're not really good quarterback coaches. And I think, that's one thing Sark is. He's a really good quarterback coach as well as a good play caller. And I think Kirk Signetti is the same way, and that's why his quarterback's playing so well.
Why do you think, and the quarterback obviously playing well with good offense, and they put people away, though, at the end. Being able to flip that culture. He credited the transfer portal because he got a lot of guys from JMU that know his culture. He brought his offense coordinator, defense coordinator over from JMU. But in Indiana, we live there, that place was never going to be a good football team. And then he comes in there so quickly. Why do you think Kurt Signetti's able to do that? And how many people are able to do that?
Well, I think he hit the transfer portal, which helped them play better defense. I think he hit the quarterback, which has certainly been, and they've got some decent skill guys, which has helped them be able to throw the ball effectively. But I also think that the proof is going to be in the pudding this week because I think Nebraska has a little better defense than what they've been playing against. So if they can actually do it against this style of defense, I think they're for real. As an offensive football team and as a total team.
I love the fact that you coached for his dad, and then now he coached for you, and then now he's flipping Indiana into a powerhouse, and he sounds a lot like you. I congratulated him on the start. Hey, when he came on the show the other day, I was like, hey, congratulations. I did the full-on, way to go, as if he won a bowl. And he goes, nah, we're not selling. We're halfway through the race. That's literally what he said. He was trying to downplay it all. Sounds like no rat poison is entering Bloomington. We'll see. Big one against Nebraska. Conman has a question for you.
Yeah, Coach, we're at the point now with Kalen DeBoer and Bama where every week it feels like whatever he does, people just say well, Saban would have done this or Saban would have, worn something else on the sideline. When it comes to things like that, did you ever have to deal with something like that where it was you were replacing losing either a legendary coach or a coach that was beloved and everyone was comparing you to the guy before. And how do you think Kalen DeBoer's handling that, because he is being compared to the greatest of all time and yourself?
Well, I think that anytime you have a successful coach, I felt that a little bit when I was a coach at Michigan State, because George Perlis had won the Big Ten championship there. Of course, I was on his staff, back then as defensive coordinator. And he had a lot of people who really believed in, what he did, the discipline, the culture that he created, and all that. So when I went there, I was expected to do things almost exactly like he did them because I had been on the staff. But yet, through the years, I'd learned some other ways to do things because of being with Belichick and, some people like that. So sometimes I felt a little like, why aren't you doing it a certain way? But I do think that this is a tough transition for Kalen, is anytime you take over a successful program. And I don't want to be judgmental about what they do, because I think he has to do what he does his way. He can't be me, he can't try to be somebody that he isn't. And I think there's more than one way to skin a cat, and I actually think the guy's been successful, and I think his way will work. I just think it's adjustment for a lot of the fans and the people, but I think he'll win them over because he's a good guy and he's a good coach, and he's got a good system and a good organization, and I'm just trying to be supportive and helpful any way that I can so he can make a smooth transition.
Modern world, let's say that it doesn't end up how everybody hoped it would end up for Alabama this year. I'm not saying that's going to happen, saying there has been glimpses of that potentially happening. Let's say a lot of guys transfer out. Possible, right? A lot of people transferring out Alabama. Then he gets his guys in, or tries to. How long do you think Alabama fans realistically give somebody like maybe get their own? I'm not saying this is all going to happen. This is a hypothetical. I don't want it to happen. I like Kalen DeBoer. I like Alabama. Hypothetical, though. How long do you think in modern world do you really have to potentially have that situation?
Well, I think one thing that doesn't get acknowledged is the fact that when I retired, there was 26 players that transferred.
Yeah, there's like a
nobody
2-week
talks
period,
about that.
right? There's a 2-week period where they're allowed to just go in and
pitch. And Isaiah Bond was a pretty good player. He would be an impact player if he was still at Alabama, especially with some of the players that, they have now. So then Proctor leaves, then he comes back.
Caleb.
So Caleb Downs is, look, I looked at all the guys in the draft last year because I did the draft. He was a freshman, and if he was a junior or senior in the draft, he would have been probably the first safety taken in the draft. So that's a pretty significant player. So they really lost a lot, and people don't talk about that. Now they got a few guys in, but I do think there's going to be a transition, and he's got to get his people in there, and he'll get the opportunity to recruit them and do it. And I can't make any predictions about the future in terms of what people's patience are going to be, but they don't have a lot of patience at Alabama. They have high expectations. You can't get caught up in that. You got to just focus on what you got to do to make the team play as well as you can, and don't let any of that stuff affect you. And that's one of the things that I think allowed me to not lose my mind while I was there, because we got criticized every time we lost a game. I don't know how many times I heard Paul Feinbaum say, this is the beginning of the end. I mean, but it never was, but he said it a lot.
He just said that about Georgia, actually, yesterday, I think. Literally just said it yesterday.
You only have to lose one game with Paul.
Well, he's got high standards. Paul Feinbaum's got those high standards. I mean, after it happened here, people were, and you doing our show last year, I mean, everybody was thinking, he's gone. As soon as you guys had a little hiccup, he's gone. And then you end up being one of the Final Four teams. College football is a wild place. It is a wild place. It's been awesome this year, Coach.
Yeah.
College football has been, I assume every year.
It's great. I mean, there's a lot of unknowns now in college football with the transfer portal and name, image, and likeness and all the things that are going on. But when the season actually starts, and I think the 12-team playoff has added a lot to fan interest and people's interest in general, because there's 25 or 30 teams that halfway through the season still have a chance to get in the playoffs. And even if you have one loss, or even, like even in Georgia's case, if they have 2 losses, they're still going to be, if they finish the season, they've got enough good teams that they have to beat that they'll be able to get in the playoffs. So you don't lose the fan base, and you have so many more fan bases that are engaged.
This conversation is going to happen tomorrow. I'm excited for the world to hear it, because they have a great graphic that's going to be on game day tomorrow about all the teams that are still very much in it, very much in it. And with the conference championship automatic bid, I assume there's a lot of teams that aren't even going to be on the graphic about 30 deep that are going to be like, well, there's still a road for us to win our championship and get in there.
Right.
It's a good thing.
West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Bingo.
West Virginia,
Bingo.
come on
Bingo.
now. Trust the climb, baby.
Bingo.
Having fun.
And, I'll mention this much in defense of West Virginia.
Yes.
There were times with Georgia and with us at Alabama when we did not win the SEC and we won the national championship. So you got hope.
I don't
right?
know. I don't know if that's the same situation.
It's similar. Georgia,
right?
Georgia, Bama, West
I agree.
Virginia.
You're right. Yeah, well, hang on to it. You're right. Ty has a question for you back in Indiana.
Same tier.
Yeah, Coach, anytime people talk about Bill Belichick throughout his career in the NFL, they talked about how he'd score over the rule book to kind of find little nuances that he could use to his advantage. We just saw Dan Lanning do this with Oregon coming out of the timeout with the 12 men on the field, taking the penalty and then the runoff. And then the NCAA promptly turned around and basically said, hey, we've closed that loophole. You can't do this anymore. What'd you think of that decision? Was it kind of knee-jerk, or do you agree with that? And how often over the course of your career did you have situations like this where it's like, oh, we can really kind of manipulate the rules here to our advantage?
First of all, I think that this happened at some point, and you guys know more about this than I do, a few years ago in the NFL.
Okay.
Where they had a similar situation and they just changed the rule to 12 guys on the field was a dead ball foul. So no time went off the clock, which I feel like that's the way it should be. I don't think that you run a play with 12 guys on the field, which minimizes your chances on offense of having success, even though you still could have success. And then you lose time in the game, and the time is more important than the plays.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so can't fault a coach for trying to take advantage of the rules. And, I always had somebody on the staff who was in charge of rules. And they would always give us a report on, if this situation occurred, what should we do in that situation to take advantage of the rules, or what would be a disadvantage for us, and what would, so that's kind of how I tried to manage it. I didn't spend a lot of time because I was a guy that was always about execution, man. And what our team did was the most important thing. So I wasn't trying to create some advantage by, taking advantage of the other team or the rules, but because I always told our players it's going to be about what we do. So I didn't want everybody to think we were trying to do something outside of our team that was going to help us win. It was going to be about what we did.
Got it. I understand that. Let's look in the mirror and do that. With that being said, Coach Lanning had somebody on the staff, I'd assume, or maybe he's the one that thought of it, for them to call a timeout in the moment and be like, hey, we're in it. They've probably been, as you know, you said you had a guy that did the rules and come through it, probably pitched that in the offseason or maybe 2 years ago. Like, hey, if we're ever in a situation where we can put 12 men on the field, they're outside of field goal range, won't really matter, it'll be no play, they run the clock down with less than 30 seconds left. For them to remember it, execute it, and have it happen, and then beat college football seemingly and get a win, I have respect for it, because there's a couple rules that have been changed off of things that I've done in special teams game. Because usually special teams is where you can really exploit the rules, if you will.
Right.
For that moment to come together the way it did, wild. How'd you feel about that Oregon-Ohio State game?
Well, I was really impressed with Oregon, especially their offense. Ohio State's defense was, and I think this is the thing you have to be careful of, is, we talk about these teams that have the number one defense in the country. They're the number one scoring defense. But who did they play to come up with those stats?
Who they beat?
And then they play somebody really good, and they sort of get, exposed a little bit. And you start to wonder, exactly how good are they, especially when they play somebody good, because that's when it counts. And in college football, I think that the rules favor the offense. Being able to block down the field, throw RPOs, throw advantage throws, throw screens and block people and crack people. I mean, it's tough to play as good a defense now as you used to and be able to win the game on defense. So I was really impressed with Oregon, the way they played on defense against a great Ohio State offensive team with a lot of weapons, and then the way that Oregon just, sort of picked Ohio State apart. They didn't affect the quarterback in any way. And
he had time.
And he had time, but they didn't ever pressure.
Yeah,
I mean, it was just four guys rush, which, that's kind of an antiquated way to play defense. And I'm not being critical of somebody's philosophy at Ohio State, but there's so much four-man rush, simulated pressure, still able to play the coverages that you play, drop different people, rush somebody that is supposed to be dropping, drop somebody that's supposed to be rushing. And these things are ways to get pressure without giving up anything.
Yeah.
And coverage. And I think in this day and age of football, you got to go down that road a little bit, or you're going to be behind the 8 ball.
Okay, so let's talk about what you're referring to here about teams being ranked, whatever they're ranked on the offense or defense side of the ball. Ohio State defense is number 1 in the country, I think, right, Tone? Going into Oregon?
Still? Yeah, no, Texas is now.
Yeah, Texas.
Going in.
Texas is.
They were number 1, of course, yeah. So let's talk about that. So Tone Diggs there mentioned this week, maybe Oregon had a little bit more calluses from earlier in the season from how they played. They had to win a couple games that were tough, Idaho, and then obviously Boise State. And they kind of got, I don't want to say exposed a little bit going into the year, but they had some tough fights. They're wondering about this team here with, Georgia's been in some tough, calloused fights.
Right.
Texas has seemingly been able to do whatever they want. How big of an advantage is that, you think, to a team that's been through some shit early in the season? Obviously, USF, everybody will go back to with your team last year. Do you like that as a coach, that there's a little bit of early adversity, maybe?
Yeah, I do. I like early on for, us to sort of find out who we are. And, Georgia is a team that has the heart of a champion, which they showed in the Alabama game when they got behind 28-0 or 30-7 or whatever it was. And they came back in the game and actually went ahead in the game when everybody said this was never going to happen. So when you're playing a team like that, you got to play for 60 minutes, obviously. But I do think that Texas defense is very good. I'm not criticizing it at all. But I also don't think that they've been really tested like they're going to be tested in this game. Because Georgia has a really good quarterback. They've been a very effective passing team. They've had some balance on offense in terms of run pass. So they're going to get tested tomorrow more than they have all year long.
I can't wait to watch it. Let's go back to the NFL a little bit quickly. Amari Cooper just got traded to the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, Alabama man. He is, and this is, I don't know if it's a wild take. No, I think everybody agrees. There's never a peep out of Amari Cooper, ever. Any of this. Goes to the Raiders, ends up with the Cowboys, ends up with the Browns. He has monster numbers with everybody. This year hasn't been as great, but never complains as a guy who's been a number 1 wide receiver, been a first-round pick, everything like that. Him going to the Bills. Do you think this is a good reset for Amari Cooper this particular season? And have you talked to him, or what do we not know about Amari Cooper maybe?
Yeah, I think Amari Cooper's a great player, and I think he'll make a huge impact with the Bills, who have a good offensive team, good quarterback. And all that. But I think Amari Cooper sometimes is a little bit misunderstood because he's such a quiet guy. I mean, he went through 3 or 4 years at Alabama, however long he was there, and I don't know if we ever had a conversation. I mean, he was never in trouble. I mean, he never came in my office. He did everything he was supposed to do. He's a great person. Went to class, did everything you asked, practiced hard, did everything, but never said a word. So sometimes as a coach, you feel like, well, this guy's not really with it, or he's not really with us. But he is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a great competitor. He made a lot of plays that made huge impacts in games, and I think he has the capability of doing that. So I think when you have a player like that sometimes in your organization or as a coach, you think this guy's really not competing, or he's really not the kind of guy that is engaged with the team. But he really is in his own way. He's just a very shy personality.
So that might be why some people maybe have a feeling or whatever, because he's just quiet. He's just a quiet. Josh Allen would love that. Josh Allen would do the talking for him, I think, from what I've been told.
I mean, you're talking about a guy that didn't learn how to drive until he was a sophomore and junior in college. He never had a driver's license.
Why is that?
Because he just never said anything.
He's so bad. He runs everywhere.
Came from, tough area in Miami. He got a great mama, but, it's just some people are a little bit socially maybe not as engaged in their, growth process.
Introverts.
Yeah, and that's the way he is. I love the guy. I'd have them on. If I was coaching the team, I'd want them on my team.
Coach Saban, all right, we got 11 guys playing on the offensive side. One of them, I'm never going to hear from. Never. Like, there's never going to be a problem. He's going to do his shit. I would love to have that guy. If we could have 10 others, too, every other position, it would be fantastic.
Especially at wide receiver.
Bingo.
Yeah,
that's kind of.
I mean, you talk about energy vampires. They go crazy at that position. They all want the ball. They don't want to block. All right, how many passes I'm going to catch? I mean, it's a.
Why is that, Coach?
Call them energy
Why is that position?
vampires.
Why is it a receiver thing? Like, it seems like that's.
And do they have to have that?
Well, because I think because you might play 65, 70 plays in a game, and maybe you get targeted 5 times, and maybe you catch 3 balls, and you're running crazy, those other 65 plays, but you become insignificant, and nobody wants to be insignificant. They want the ball, and it's a little easier to give it to a running back. So these guys just, that's one thing I loved about Julio Jones. Julio Jones changed the culture of the receiver position at Alabama when he came there in our first recruiting class, because this guy wanted to be on a kickoff team. He would block. He was physical. He wanted the ball. He broke his hand, played in the game. Everybody said, this guy's going to be out for 3 or 4 weeks. He played in the next game, caught the ball, never complained. But he changed the culture of the position because he wasn't worried about getting the ball. He's a competitor, man. He just wanted to win. He wanted to dominate the guy he was playing against. And changed the whole position for us, and we had some great wideouts through the years, and a lot of it was because he changed the culture at the position. I remember one time, it's like 10 years after he's played at Alabama, and we're in summer conditioning, and we have 7-on-7, and the coaches aren't allowed on the field, so Julio's like to train and rehab and all that at Alabama. So he's out there watching 7-on-7. Some receiver misses a ball, looks at the quarterback, cusses the quarterback, cusses the DB, kicks the ball. Julio calls him over and says, he hadn't played for 10 years now. He called the guy over and said, that's not how we do it here.
Man,
you talk about a dog.
Well, talk about a culture, brother. I mean, that isn't just obviously Julio. That's like your program, your culture has people wanting to come back and uphold it. I mean, that's a beautiful thing. He's what, 6'4"?
He's a
6'5"?
Yeah, he's 6'3", 6'4", but strapped, man.
Massive.
Physical, fast.
And good.
And he was quiet, too. And, we were recruiting him. I was afraid we didn't have very good skill guys when we went there. So we signed 4 receivers, committed to us. And Julio hadn't committed yet. And I called him on the phone and I said, Julio, I don't, and he was our number 1 guy. I said, I don't want you to be affected by the fact that we already got 4 receivers. And you haven't committed yet. I hope that doesn't affect your decision-making to come to Alabama. He said, Coach, you could sign 100 guys and I wouldn't care.
It's not going to matter.
The number 1 overall.
It is not going to matter. Julio was a beast, as are you. Can't wait to do the show tomorrow with you. College Game Day. You're the man, brother. You're continuing to kill it on TV.
Thanks. Well, I'm trying.
You know that big ass.
You're a big help to me, though. I mean, really. You make me feel relaxed.
Relaxed.
Because
speaking of you,
vitamins.
I didn't know how relaxed.
I'm not taking anything that you take.
I understand. You know that big ass cow's going to come through tomorrow, Bevo.
Yeah.
That thing. I have some breaking news. I think has broke while we've been talking. Uga will not be making the trip to Texas.
Wait, what?
Oh no!
What happened?
He's too young. So he's a 2-year-old puppy, and they said it's too far of a trip because it's a new Uga, and he's
all over the
he's a
field?
little too wild.
That's
he's
soft.
He's not making the trip, which is huge
No,
news.
it's not soft.
That's
He's
soft.
too wild.
Those dogs.
Bevo. Hey, Bevo. The first game day I did. What was that? 2 years ago. Bevo almost took a guy out. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
Bevo and Uga have a pass.
Bevo was dumping over our shoulder the one we were doing at
Red River.
Once too.
Yeah.
Right there.
Last
Big
year.
dunk.
Yeah.
Big
Huge
dunk.
Huge dunk.
All right, Coach. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, Coach.
As he gets Saban out of there. Remember there's a clip of us speaking,
gross.
right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
Bevo is right over our shoulder.
Yeah, leaking
dumping.
fuel.
Someone sent the thing to me. He said, someone want to tell these guys that Bevo is just dumping his life away?
Yeah.
I didn't know in the moment. Did you know?
I mean, you couldn't feel it in your eyeballs?
Yeah, you didn't feel the breeze from him passing wind on the way out?
No, they told me Bevo's dumps don't smell. That's why he makes them so special.
His farm hands
Who
were
told
feeding him
that?
cheeseburgers all game, and
They
he was
were.
just
They just
Scratching
set him
his
up,
belly.
Santa Claus tell you that?
turn him around and say, hey, get right in the back of these dudes' shot.
It was actually a great shot. I'm glad he did.
Yeah, it was sweet.
How about Coach Saban?
Coach Saban's
pretty excited.
Still bringing it.
He's pretty pumped
the
for the game,
best.
huh?
He is still bringing it. He is actually the best. Listen to him talk. Julio Jones, too, wasn't he the number one overall
I would
recruit
assume
of his
so.
class?
I would assume
I'm pretty
so.
sure he was.
Julio Jones, you talk about that, like that attitude and mentality that he has, and you couple it with his size and speed and strength. Like that's why he's Julio Jones.
I mean, he's pretty good.
There's a highlight reel of him just destroying dudes after his quarterback was throwing interceptions. Like there's a whole entire highlight reel of him just laying wood on the field as a wide receiver. Like it doesn't surprise me that he wanted to run down on kickoff too.
He's a monster. He said he changed their whole receiver. That's
awesome.
That's a real thing, though. Think about that.
Yeah. Cooper just being silent also.
I know.
pretty
I
sure.
was the Green Bay Packers for a while. I know guys like Donald Driver, Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson. Like their whole how they approach the game. Like that was passed down. Devontae Adams learned from
James
those guys.
Jones.
Yeah.
James Jones. Like there's a ton of them where it's like, hey, you can't get out of the line because everybody here they're all workers.
Yeah, and they do have, like, if you look at the history of the Bama receivers, like, who was immediately after Julio? Was it Amari Cooper, actually?
Yeah.
And Calvin Ridley? Like,
Yep.
they have actually just every single year. And now Ryan Williams. Like, Ryan Williams is one of the best receivers in the country. 17 years old, yeah.
Pat, I think you might be set up. You got Coach Sark there. They're trying to get everybody wired up. What's up, Pat? You guys doing all right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, national champion, multiple time head coach of Texas, former Saskatchewan Rough Rider.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about it. His mic's
Slinging
off
it.
again. Hold on.
There it is.
And Saskatchewan Rough Rider. We did not know that till this morning. We looked it up. Dog. Absolute
about
dog.
that?
Legend.
Underappreciated as a. Now, let's talk. As you guys were talking right there about Julio Jones being a beast, he said, I got a Julio story. And he like started, I'm like, I want to hear it on air. You coached Julio.
I coached Julio for 2 years in Atlanta, and it was 2018. We're going into week 17. We're playing in Tampa. Okay.
Your face, you're too handsome.
Yeah, week 17 in Tampa. We're not going to the playoffs. We're ineligible for the playoffs. Antonio Brown decides not to play week 17. So Julio has won the receiving crown. He's the leading receiver in the NFL. He decides to play. It's a tight game. We're behind, and we're trying to get into field goal range right there at the end, and we're going to run the ball. This guy's won the receiving title. He's already got 100 yards in the game, and we call an outside zone, and he push cracks his safety and knocks the guy out. With a minute to go in the game.
Julio.
Hey, with a minute to go in the game, gets called for a 15-yard penalty for like hitting the guy too hard. Okay, which is
Too
like
tough.
Yeah, hitting him too hard. So now he's got to go make a play on third down again, which he converts that again, and then we kick a field goal and win. I mean, that would just epitomizes who that guy was.
So coming out of high school, he's the same guy. Hey, sounds like we need to pay a little bit more respect to Julio Jones.
Yeah.
I think all of us and the boys back in Indianapolis are very thankful that you joined us, Sark. We did not expect this. Obviously, day before this big of a game. I guess you're just used to this, though. This is what Texas has become now, and I think you were obviously hired to do this. There was a lot of hype. Can anybody win at Texas? There's so many people, maybe so much money, so many people talking. Is Texas ever going to be able to win in this modern day? You've come in and done that. How has it been here at Texas, and how excited are you that the program is where it is right now?
It's been amazing. You know, it's definitely been a journey. You know, people forget we were 5-7 in year one.
Yeah,
You know, and we were losing. Like we had the lead. We lost 6 straight games. We had the lead in the second half of every one of those 6 games.
Heartbreaking.
So we had to learn how to win. Then we get 8-5. After year one, we have 0 players drafted in the NFL draft. We go 8-5 in year 2. We have 5 guys go. Bijan goes in the first round. In year 3, we go 12-2. We're conference champs. We make the college football playoff. We break the school record. We have 11 guys drafted, and now we're in year 4, and we're playing pretty good football. We're in the SEC. It's been a blast, man.
And we're protected, obviously, as something's happening somewhere. I think the president is potentially moving, or that might be Nick Saban.
It's probably Nick Saban, for sure. The guy goes nowhere without a police escort.
Okay, so let's talk about Coach Saban. Obviously, you and Kirby both have come through the Nick Saban Coaching University. What did you learn there? What have you tried to institute here in your own program? And what do you know about Kirby because of the time that you were at Saban?
Yeah, so a couple things is one, I had been kind of raised by Pete Carroll. And so there was this whole coaching style of the Pete Carroll, the loose, the fun, but yet driven, focused, and guys, he was a national champ, Super Bowl champ. And then I get with Nick Saban, and it's like boom, we're going to operate like in this box that is not very big. But what I learned is these guys coached to their personality, and who they were was naturally how they coached, and their teams took on their personality. So what I took out of it was, when I got this job here, was, okay, who am I? And then how do I want our team to be? And so I think I've got a lot of Nick Saban in me. I think I've got a lot of Pete Carroll in me, and morphing those two things together into our team has been big. Kirby, the one thing I know is they're going to play great defense, and they're going to be intense, and they're going to play hard. They're going to be physical. They've recruited great. Georgia really has been the standard of college football now for about the last 6 or 7 years. I think they've been to 6 SEC championship games, 3 national championship games. So it is what it is. They're going to come in here. They're not going to be afraid of 105,000. They're going to come ready to play.
Feinbaum said they lose to you, it's over for them though forever. So
that's a typical Paul.
Yeah, but Kirby didn't hear that.
Yeah,
Kirby didn't hear that.
That's a typical Paul quote. Like it's just this. It's 0 or it's 100. Like, there's never anywhere in between.
Let's talk about 0 to 100. Big 12 obviously is West Virginia's conference now. You know that. You don't have to say anything more. Coming into the SEC.
Yep.
Okay, you have history obviously in the SEC. Georgia SEC matchup here in October. This is massive. And then you got a bunch of games still left that are not going to be easy. How do you feel about the SEC and Texas being together?
But to me, that is the SEC. It's like people want to get up for one game. In this conference, it's not about one game. It's surviving all 8 and what that looks like. And it's week in and week out, and the mental intensity that you have to have every week, but yet the physicality and the depth that you have to have on your roster to endure what an SEC. Right? Oh my gosh, will you quickly. And we've seen it already in this conference. I mean, some really good teams have gone down that people were probably surprised by.
Yeah, a lot of depth too. I mean, shout out to Vandy. This ain't same old Vandy.
Yeah, heck no, it's not.
It is not. And let's talk about that. NIL, transfer portal. Obviously, you've had success with that, and you're going to have to in the modern era. How do you feel about where we are at college football right now and how it applies to your team?
Well, first of all, I'm going to say this about college football. I think from a popularity standpoint, we're at an all-time high, man. We're all-time high, baby.
College football is
It's amazing, man.
And showing up every week.
It's amazing. I think this new playoff is going to be incredible for college football. But I also think we have to continually adapt as programs, right? Times are changing, right? NIL has changed, revenue sharing coming, what that's going to look like, conference realignment. And we've been preaching that all along. It was something I got from Coach Saban, adapt or die. There's a reason dinosaurs aren't on the earth anymore. They didn't adapt. And so
stupid dinosaurs?
Yeah, they didn't adapt. And so
got Wi-Fi.
We've tried to adapt to the times and use some of the new things to our advantage, but yet not lose sight of it, holding true to who we are and what we're about.
Before the boys have questions back in Indianapolis, and once again, I can't thank you enough for taking time here. The Arch Manning, Quinn Ewers conversation brewed quickly.
Yes.
I was a part of it.
Yeah.
So I apologize for
It's okay.
adding even more into it. I've known Arch since he's a little boy.
Yeah.
I've seen Arch since he was just a little boy. Probably smaller than the size of Cooper's hat last week.
How about that?
That was awesome.
Where did he? That's a fair hat all the way.
Cooper's one of the greatest humans to ever exist.
Yeah.
I mean, just him being a part of it all is fantastic. But like the amount of depth you just have across the board at all positions is huge. It's going to be huge for the SEC football. When Arch comes in, plays the way he does, when Ewers gets hurt, he leaves. There was never a doubt by you or from basically the Manning family or anybody. Everybody was rowing in the same direction. This is Quinn Ewers' team. This is Quinn Ewers' team. How do you think Quinn has handled it, and what do you expect out of Quinn on this massive stage with Georgia?
I give both those guys a lot of credit for how they've handled this. I think Arch is Quinn's biggest supporter. And when Arch was playing, I think Quinn was his biggest supporter. And that's a really cool sign of a great team, right? And the teammates that they are and the way they support one another. It's not easy when the backup goes in and he might get a louder ovation than you get as the starter.
Name's Manning.
Yeah, I mean, it just is what it is.
Yeah.
But I think the acknowledgement of that, understanding the situation, those guys, like I said, supporting one another, I think has been huge. One thing I know about Quinn, big games come, that guy shows up, and he's played really good football for us in all the big games we've been in, and obviously we've got a big one here tomorrow. I expect that guy to show up.
I can't wait to watch your team. AJ has a question for you back in Thunder.
Yeah, hey, Coach, obviously huge game tomorrow. I'm just wondering, whatever the last thing you say to your team as a group before they head out, is that something you plan? Is it more organic? Like, do you have any idea what you might say now? I'm sure people ask you this as like a cliche question and everything, but I'm just wondering how much time you actually put into that, or do you just want to go off the top of your head?
Well, I think it's probably a combination of both. You know, we have some themes throughout the week that we try to get to. But ultimately, the one thing I always try to remind our team of when we take the field is go be us. Like, we don't have to try to go be something that we're not. We've got a certain style in which we like to play the game. We've got a certain swagger in which we try to take the field with and go attack the game that way. I think when we're loose and we're confident and we're believing in what we're doing, we're at our best. And so that's what we try to go do.
How much is McConaughey channeling the power of the sun on the sideline?
Yeah, the minister of culture.
How's that helping the team every single week?
Yeah.
That's got to help.
I think it's great, you know, and you know, Matthew's been an amazing supporter of Texas football for a long, long time. And so through the good times, through some of the tough times, that guy's been there and supporting this thing. And so him being on the sidelines, I'm sure there'll be a few more. I think Durant's showing up tomorrow.
KD's going to be here.
KD's going to be here. He's a big Longhorn football fan.
Yeah, he like paid for the practice facility, I think, for the basketball team.
Yeah,
a brand new one.
Yeah, so, you know, games like this, they all come out, but I will say this about Matthew McConaughey. It doesn't matter. It's week in and week out. That guy supports us.
Yeah, he was in Michigan. I think he was sick. He almost didn't make kickoff.
Yeah, he was there, though. He was there. He was at the Cotton Bowl last week. I mean, that guy, he's definitely here supporting
I
us.
saw him in Michigan on the sideline, and I had not known because I didn't have service because there were so many humans and phones need to figure it out. You know, so I couldn't get any text messages or any update. I guess he was, like, really close to missing kickoff. And I guess it was because he was very sick. I guess they were like kind of running some tests on him more. Not like, I think it was like flu, COVID, but whatever it was. He gets there and I go, God, you look so good. He goes, I've lost like 10 pounds in the last 24 hours, brother. And I'm like, okay. And then he turned around, I was sick. I almost didn't make it, but I'm here, you know. And I'm like, great to see you. And then he turns around immediately. You guys got a first down, and he's the loudest on the sideline at first. His energy is just so infectious, man.
How about last year during the Bama game? You guys are standing right there, and the touchdown to Worthy right in front of you guys. It's a great shot.
And
man.
his genuine happiness,
yes,
pure joy for how big of a star he is. What a weapon for your team, but also like just Texas as a whole. He loves the university. I think a lot of people do, which is a weapon for you. I've been looking around the stadium.
Yeah, it's amazing.
So where's our loud? Because these look real nice over here.
Down there. That corner, students.
Loud.
Very. That's where it's at.
How's
and
the
then
light
it's
show?
orange smoke. Well, the drone show is going to go up tomorrow. In between the third and fourth quarter, we'll have a drone show up right off the east side of the stadium.
We got fireworks
going tomorrow. We'll have the light show going on. We'll have orange smoke. All sorts of stuff's going on tomorrow.
All right, we're 20 seconds until a hard out on ESPN. We'll continue on YouTube, ESPN Plus, TikTok Live, and every other social media platform. This is Coach Sarkisian. He's the head coach of the Texas Longhorns. They take on the Georgia Bulldogs tomorrow. College Game Day will be live at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Their fans going to show up?
They'll be here. They'll be here, man.
See you on Monday. Look, we just hit that hard out right there. So
I love that. I love that.
We did
Big time, brother.
That's good. We're still live, though. We are still live, Coach. We are still live. Let's make sure, let's not give away any strategic or anything like that.
You got the Lucchese hat on. I like that.
So Parker McCollum, you know who he is?
Yeah.
So he's Texas music boy.
Yeah.
He wears this hat, gave me this hat. And as I was packing this morning, early morning, Coach, flying down here. Early. Texas is much further than people give it credit. It's a 2.5 hour flight here.
Big state.
From Indian. Big state. Big state. A lot of people.
State.
This morning I wake up, I say, you know what? This is in tribute to Parker McCollum, that super handsome Texas son of a bitch who sings the hell out of some songs. So I put it on because I feel good in Texas. I love this state. Great place.
Hey, so we got a shirt we wear around here that I think is kind of fitting for you and your show. All right. And some interpret this differently than others. Okay. You can interpret it however you want. Okay. But our guys believe in that mantra around here. Okay.
Fast as fuck.
Fuck around, find out.
That was fuck around.
I didn't know if we just had super speed. You're talking about. Okay, we're finding out. A lot of people are finding out.
Yeah.
I love this.
Oh, with the horns in the back.
Yeah, it got the horns in. I don't want to be upside down. I apologize for doing that.
That looks good on you, man.
Yeah, dude. Faf.
Yeah.
Damn.
Hey, AJ. AJ, why don't you FAFO one time, buddy?
Bitch.
That's pretty
Why don't
sweet.
you FAFO? FAFO one time.
Is that like your
You
off-season mantra, Coach, or is that just who came up with this one?
We kind of adopted that last year, and it's kind of just continued to carry over, man. So we bought into that one, and so
Got to be a tough team, right?
Gotta be,
Everybody talks
man.
about football being like highlights and offensive heavy and yada yada yada. You have to be a tough football team. I think people, not everybody, some people have forgotten that. I think in 2024.
Well, the other saying we have, you have to choose violence. In football, you have to choose violence because if you don't, you're probably going to get beat.
Hell yeah.
Tone Diggs has a question for you back in the Thunderdome, pal.
Yeah, Coach. You guys currently have the favorites for the O-line to win the Joe Moore Award, which is the top O-line in the country. How nice is it calling plays when you got that Texas beef up front?
It's huge, man. You know, we've got 2 elite tackles, in my opinion, but I think both those guys are first-round picks. But the thing that we got a 4-year starter at center. And how valuable is a center, not only on your offense, but on your team? Because those guys, the offensive line is always the personality. It starts to kind of shape your locker room. Everybody wants to talk about the DBs and receivers, but when the O-line's got that camaraderie, when they've got that personality and that confidence, I think that permeates throughout the team.
I saw them walking down here. I don't know if you know this, Bert Austin and specialists were sitting over here there for a bit during the program. Your team walked down here. I don't know if you had a walkthrough or what was going on. Some of them had some food, looked like they were eating well. They were all super confident. The big boys walked through and they did
they brought the boom.
Yeah, they
brought the boom to you.
Guns out.
Yeah, they bring the boom.
Yeah.
They do the entirety of it. Ty Schmidt has a question for you, Coach.
Yeah, Coach, just curious, is there anything that's you've noticed, like in terms of your coaching philosophy or the way you go about things, that has changed over the last few years now that you guys really have rolling, that maybe, say, 5 or 6 years ago you'd say, like, oh, that was a little bit of a deficiency in my coaching style, but now that's something I've really excelled at?
Yeah, I want to give Coach Saban a shout out on that. You know, that was in my time at Alabama. The one thing I learned was the level of consistency he approached every day. And you guys are probably seeing it even when he comes on the show. He is so diligent. He was
late this morning to the meeting.
No way.
Oh,
I didn't say it.
Oh my gosh! But anyhow,
find him.
That was something for me that like I used to kind of jump around as a young head coach, and then my time at Alabama was a level of consistency. Whatever your consistent looks like, I think that puts everybody in the organization, puts every player on the team kind of at ease, knowing there's a level of consistency from the top. That okay, we're going to be okay because it's the same. All right, we're not varying, we're not jumping around. That there's a level of consistency to it that I think Coach Saban, to me, he was consistent to who he was. Finding out who I am, and then finding my level of consistency, I think puts everybody else at ease.
Well, that's what he said about you, actually, is that you're always like this. He was like very appreciative of the fact that you're always like this. He told a story, I think, maybe a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Waddle maybe got hurt.
Yeah.
And it was national championship, right? Waddle was hurt, and I think he asked a question about what we're going to do, and you're like, "Don't worry about it. We're completely okay." And then obviously you go out and dominate. It's like he said you were always like a reassuring voice on the offensive side. Do you continue that today in how you kind of treat every single adversity that potentially pops up with your team?
We really do. You know, we almost welcome some adversity because I think that's when we find out about ourselves, and then when we see how we respond to it, that helps for adversity down the road.
Have you faced enough this year, you think? Because that is one question going into this game, people.
No, it is. And I mean, I guess if there's a question you'd like to have about your team, it's that.
Yeah. Hey, have we really struggled at all yet?
Yeah, I've tried to generate some of that. I think the first quarter at OU last week was good for us. That the fact that, we have, 3 drives in a row, it's 3 plays, and we have 13 yards, but then we found out our defense could kind of hold down the fort until the offense got going. So I think adversity is good for you because, life is 10% what happens to us, 90% how we react to it. And so our reaction to that adversity, I think, is as important of anything.
Connor has a question for you, Coach.
Yeah, Coach, you mentioned your record the first few years when you were at Texas, and obviously now you guys are rolling, have been the last 2 years. What do you kind of look for in players when you are recruiting them to bring your guys in, per se? And has it gotten easier now that you're in the SEC and you got Arch Manning? It's like, hey, I got Arch fucking Manning, bitch. Everybody wanted him. I got it.
You know what people forget about Arch? I don't know if you've ever seen any of the pictures. When he was a kid, he was wearing Texas shirts.
Yeah,
Texas jerseys.
Obviously.
This
that's
was
why you guys went to the SEC, because Archie said he's only going to an SEC school. So
yeah, well,
that's what happened.
You can say that.
I'm joking.
No, but I think that obviously we all want to recruit big, fast, physical people, right, and talented people. One thing we've held on to is we never sacrifice character for talent. We always try to hold true to what our culture is and who the person is as much as who the player is, because we value our culture so much that I think our makeup of our team, there's a lot of talented players in our locker room, but they're really good dudes. And these guys like to, it's a want to, not a have to for them. They love being great teammates to one another, and I think it shows in the way we play.
Yeah, and it definitely showed in the way they walked across this field. I'm telling you, it was a connected bunch, feeling good. Speaking of feeling good, I heard you're a Dodgers fan?
I'm a Dodgers fan.
Let's go.
I know.
There's a chance.
There is a chance.
What do you think? You think you're
Well, I value that they're loaded, first of all.
Yeah,
okay,
sure.
and they're hitting the ball right now. When they're hitting like that, it's a pretty good omen. For
baseball? One of your that was.
I went to college as a baseball player.
Did not know that.
I went to USC as a baseball player, transferred back to junior college and played both sports, and then went on and played football at BYU.
What were you, pitcher?
Pitcher, shortstop. Wasn't good enough. Couldn't throw hard enough. Couldn't hit a slider. It was all bad. But you never know until you have to hit that slider, right? And you're like, wow, that thing moved and it was fast.
Maybe we go to JUCO football.
Yeah.
Maybe we do football again.
Yeah. Let's go back to football. And see if I can be smart enough to throw to the fast guys and let them run and catch.
Hey, we appreciate the hell out of it. The LA Dodgers, I guess Yankees is probably what it's going to be. Is that or the Guardians going to come back, Ty?
No. They last night was a fun little story, but we're going to get the matchup everyone wants. We're going to get Dodgers-Yankees.
Teammate at USC in baseball, Aaron Boone.
Pretty good manager, even though they were trying to run him out of town. Aren't you guys trying to fire him?
Yeah, and if he doesn't win this year, the sentiment will be the same. Get him the fuck out. He needs to win.
This is his friend.
His teammate. Who doesn't want a Dodger-Yankee World Series? I mean,
Cleveland.
I get that. No offense to Cleveland, but in all reality, we all want an LA New York World Series.
I mean, it'll be big, especially with Shohei bringing the numbers that he's bringing. They said like 12 or 13 million people watching Japan.
Incredible.
It's the biggest number that they've had ever for a postseason game.
Incredible.
Can't wait to see what tomorrow's number is. Your team is must watch, as is Georgia. Thank you for stopping by. I think you're stopping by game day tomorrow too, right?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay, I can't wait to watch your brain
Appreciate
unfold
you,
in
man.
front of the Zotron. You're the man. Ladies and gentlemen, head coach of the Texas Longhorns. Also, man, who lets the whole world know you can.
Yep.
I don't even know if you can replace that one with any other word.
Funk, maybe?
Oh, get the funk.
Out of my face. Get the funk. Out of my face.
Out of my face. Yeah, funk around and find out for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Sarkisian.
Appreciate it, Coach. I know Pat will wrap up with him. I know. Comment. What do you think about Coach Sark? You think they're ready to go?
Oh, yeah. I think
Texas
it's awesome.
Longhorns?
They're definitely ready to go. I mean, I feel like same thing with Ohio State, Oregon. It's like both teams are going to be ready to go. It's legitimately going to come down to the end. I mean, and even Georgia-Bama, the other big game in the SEC that's already happened. Like,
unbelievable huge games we get every single week.
Yeah, but they're getting blown out no matter what.
And people were pouting about this with the realignment.
Well, what were they? Were people pouting that? Hey, the sanctity of college football is gone.
Some bullshit.
We
like
talked
that.
about it early on. Like, hey, we're going to see some big time matchups actually early.
You don't get to see like Texas and Texas Tech play anymore, and that's tough.
Which sucks. I mean, no doubt
Texas
about
and
it.
Missouri aren't going to play anymore, even though they are. But that kind of stuff is. I mean, and now we're just getting marquee top 5 matchups literally every single week.
And we could definitely get an Oregon-Ohio State matchup again in the Big Ten championship
in Indianapolis.
Ooh,
yeah. I realized that yesterday when someone said
Indianapolis. Honestly, it may be like nobody is happier than them for the Big Ten championship that we have this whole realignment. We add all these teams to the Big Ten because, unfortunately, Tysh, not unfortunately, but Iowa's not here every single year.
Northwestern
probably now, right?
Oh, I don't know why you're fucking counting your chickens, pal. Your Ohio State Buckeyes better fucking get their act together, otherwise they won't be here either.
What do you think, Pat? You think Iowa's going to make it? You think Ohio State gets in the Big Ten championship, Pat?
Well, I think every once in a while, Ohio State needs to remember this. Okay, they need to remember this. They went to Oregon, they did one of these. Okay, but I believe with what Saban texted Kirby after that Alabama game, after they lost, he goes, "This might be the greatest thing that has ever happened to your team." It's like that same situation could be kind of instituted for Ohio State. It's like, a little bit of a reset here. Let's go ahead, a little bit of a perspective setter, a little bit of let's go ahead and refocus on what we have to refocus on and get going. That's why the Texas thing is interesting about the adversity. Whenever he says it's not a bad thing to have that be your problem, is that you haven't had enough problems. He said, but it's certainly something that you're looking for whenever you can find it. I think college football has been awesome. And I think this has been the reason why each week you have no idea what's going to happen.
And the play on the field has been great. People were worried about what's it going to look like. Guys are transferring back and forth, but like the play has probably gotten better. I feel like it hasn't gotten worse.
No.
Before we take a break and get into this last hour of making picks or whatever, you talk about getting better and getting better. Kickers have gotten better and better. Okay, that's all they've done. Kickers have just went ahead and figured it out. Now, what's the NFL trying to do, AJ? Tell me what they're trying to do.
I heard a rumor that they're trying to narrow the goalpost. Is that real?
What? What are we doing? This ain't the same football I grew up on. They're trying to narrow the post. What is this, state fair football? What the hell are we going to do next? We're going to make the football smaller maybe because guys are not able to catch it as good if that starts happening. Make the football bigger because quarterbacks are throwing. Maybe make it a little bit more heavy. What are we talking about here? Listen, I don't know who Jeff Milner is. I'm just now learning. He's a suit at the NFL. He needs to keep his ideas inside his brain and never say them again. Now, respect to Rob Maudie, obviously, Associated Press. He's the one that donned AP tone as an AP voter. So we got nothing but love for old Rob Maudie reporting the news. But Jeff Milner needs to have less power or say in any conversations that he's having. We don't need this just because kickers have gotten good. All right, people like the points.
Yeah.
We're going to have no points for the first 5 weeks of the season, Jeff? Is that what you want? You want this thing to be 0-0? Let's make it harder for the only people that were scoring at the beginning of this NFL season? Hey, Jeff, shove it. Okay? Shove it deep in a desk. Go ahead and never open it again, and let's move along. I will say the NFL has been thinking about this for a while, I think, because the Pro Bowl that I went to out of Arizona, me and Vinatieri were both voted to the Pro Bowl. First time I think it happened since Sebastian Janikowski and Shane Leckler, although we weren't allowed to be on the same team because obviously they were doing drafts at that time. You know, it's not AFC, NFC. It's not in Hawaii. It's everything that's not good. Okay, that's what it's going to be. But they wanted to put the smaller uprights in for the Pro Bowl. And I'll tell you what, they didn't tell Vinny or anybody until very late. And it's like, what do we? Can I not just hit the ball through the uprights?
Who does that
here, have a pretty
benefit,
good
though?
time?
Who does it benefit? I don't understand who benefits.
Big goalpost, because they got to make all brand new goalposts.
Yep.
I guess it benefits everybody that hates kickers, you know, which I guess a lot of suit-wearing people potentially do.
So, like, do people legitimately...
No, Jason Kelsey was joking. Let's make sure he cleared that up on the ice.
So he says.
He was joking.
I've never rooted for any, unless it's against, like, my team. Like, I would never root for someone to miss a kick. Like, I feel horrible when I watch a guy miss a kick. I think of, like, the human, which I guess that's not
Why don't they put a pole up in the middle there?
That's a good idea. Yeah, that'd be actually fun if they did that. Don't make it wider, but then put one pole in the middle.
Yeah, and then it's worth 4 if you hit the pole.
And if you call,
now we're talking.
Cody Parker, if you call your side, too.
Yeah, declare
if you call
your side.
Like, hey, I'm going right side here. Check this out. Then you get 5 points.
Oh, like the split the upper. Yes. Now we're talking.
There's a 10-pointer somewhere like top right of the upright.
If you land the ball on the upright, 10 points.
Like bottle flip. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Every Jumbotron is forced to show a grid on the upright, and you can actually play tic-tac-toe with the kicks too throughout the entire game. You know, and by the fourth quarter there, if you're able to get 3 in a row, that's a 6-pointer, you know, and the other team's kicker missed out. He should have maybe blocked that at least once or twice. It's not a bad idea. Speaking of things that technology is able to do, did you see Amazon showcasing what the coverage was last night? That was actually pretty sick.
That was sweet.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty, like, they're like, can you imagine what their coverage is going to be like 5-10 years from now?
The blitz, the one they have the little red circle on the blitzers.
They do that.
Yeah.
That's not always right. You know, that one seemingly is.
They try.
Not a
I'll watch this alternate broadcast a good chunk of the game.
Yeah, especially with the commentary on and the views being what they are. But it's like, okay, so we got cover 1 here is what they're saying. Got 1 safety, you don't have 2 high. What's quarterback going to do? It's like, if that's right and accurate, which I'm assuming they are going to be able to be, that's a massive advantage while watching the game. Now, this is certainly going to add judgment to quarterbacks. You know?
Yeah, you're right.
How do you not know? How do you not know it wasn't covered?
Guy's wide open. What do you mean? Come on, throw to this guy. It is true. This makes it look so much easier than it actually is, obviously.
It's clearly covered, too. What a dipshit. I saw it before they even put the little circles on the guy that he was going to bail. I mean, yeah, it was the most obvious bluff in the history. Like, that is potentially coming, but I appreciate that Amazon is continuing to innovate and hopefully make us smarter through it all. I will say I got a text from Kirk Herbstreit. He's not happy that I went over to baseball and didn't come back.
Well,
wait, he really, do you think he honestly thought you were sticking around with that one, though?
I think he was wondering if I'd stay awake. The fact that I went public and said, it's not that I only stayed awake. I did. I went over to a different sport.
I chose to not watch.
I went over to a different platform.
Wow. He gets it.
He gets it.
No, he doesn't. I'll tell you, the text I got, he does not get it.
He loves baseball. He loves baseball.
Yeah, he's a baseball guy.
Yeah, he was all-time leader in home runs record at Centerville High School, and we know the Centerville Elks could really bat the ball.
Good wood.
Good
wood.
That's right.
Tim Engelke was a legendary coach. I didn't play baseball in high school, but he was legendary.
Oh, Engelke, yeah.
You didn't want to play for Engelke?
Yeah,
you couldn't hit that curveball, could you?
I got burned out 8th grade playing like 50 games in that summer. I'm like, this is stupid. I grew up playing all the travel baseball, and it was always like, if I'm not pitching, I'm bored out of my mind, and
Couldn't
I'm going
hit
to
the
forget I'm even
curveball.
playing.
Couldn't hit the curveball.
Well. Sounds like someone who couldn't hit the curveball.
I definitely did have the opinion, if you didn't throw me a fastball, then you were scared. Like, that was my opinion.
Yeah, but then now kids know that you can't hit a fucking curveball. So why they
Guess
throw you
what?
a fastball?
If you're in 8th grade throwing a curveball, I'm hitting that thing 5,000 yards because you're not
Doesn't
throwing.
sound like it.
Sounds
Back
like
then,
that's a
back
lie.
then, 8th graders were not throwing curveballs. Now they
As an adult or as an 8th grader, you're doing it? Like
As
right
an 8th
now,
grader.
you're hitting an 8th grader.
I'm saying when I was growing up at baseball, in my travel baseball, an 8th grader did not have a fully developed curveball, so they'd throw you fastball changeups, but not many curves.
It's funny you say that. I know a guy that wrote a book about this entire thing here. Too many pitches as a young boys here in America, which is potentially leading to the Japanese invasion of the Major League Baseball system. That's Jet Passan. Didn't he write a book about this pitching in the summer and everything that's happening to the arms?
Really?
Yeah. So your story is one that I think a lot of people tell in the American baseball world. I don't think yours is the same as everybody else's because you clearly could not hit the fucking curveball.
Yeah,
that is
I don't
clearly
think
what
I
it
could.
was.
If I ever faced a decent one, you're right, I probably wouldn't.
I'll tell you what, I don't think anybody could hit that riser I was being pitched by that Oklahoma fast pitch softball player as well.
Seems impossible. Seems impossible.
That thing, how's anybody hit that thing?
Good question.
Legitimately. That thing started at my knees, ended at my jaw.
And the mound looks like it's like 12 feet in front of you, too.
Yeah, and it's like, whew, you think you're getting hit with it every time. They say the only way to beat it is to not swing because it's probably going to be a ball. But it's like the ump is going to see that much action on the ball and not call it a strike. I don't think so. I think that's a good pitch. Deserve a strike. Absolutely. Baseball is much more difficult, I think, than I've ever given credit for. But the fact that they're hitting balls in big-time moments is the reason why we're watching. This goes back to Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, when they were eating all of the steroids and hitting balls out of the stadium every single night. Everybody was watching. That's what this postseason feels like. Are the pitchers worse right now or are the hitters better, Ty?
I think the hitters are probably better. And then again, it's just like everyone throws so fucking hard that it's you got a guy like Judge who's 6'7", 285, and if he makes contact on a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, like there's a good chance he's going to hit it a long way. Same deal. Shohei is absolutely massive. So is Stanton. But like a lot of these other guys, I mean, guys have just gotten a lot better. If you throw that hard and you throw it right down the middle and guys don't miss, like they're going to hit it a long way.
Also, besides Garrett Cole, like there's no true ace left in these playoffs. Like as far as pitching goes, like as far as the staffs, like the.
Yeah. So how long are guys pitching?
Cleveland's
in for an inning?
Cleveland's like all starters. Most of their starters are hurt. The Dodgers have a bunch of hurt arms. There's no true ace besides Garrett Cole, obviously.
Yeah, the Guardians manager even said like his limit is like he wants if he can get a starter to go 5 innings, he's not going to leave a guy in longer than that because their bullpen's so good because they're
hitting bombs.
Oh yeah, shots.
And it's matter of fact off the bat for all of them.
Yeah,
like Merry Christmas right there. As soon as that thing Shohei gone, jeez. See ya. He knows it. The home run he hit the night before that went top shelf or whatever. He pointed at the bench like immediately upon the ball being gone. Christmas here knows it's gone. See ya. Fry, when he hits the game winner, he knows it's gone. Like, boom, gone. See ya. It's over. There's no doubters happening like every night in massive situations. Good for baseball, man. These pitchers need to suck more, I think, throughout the season.
Amen.
That's what needs to happen. They suck a little bit. Everyone wants to see the long ball, brother.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to see the long ball.
Yeah, everyone wants to see it. We want to see the stars. We want to see the stars hit grand slams and home runs when it matters, and that's what we're getting right now.
Yeah.
Well, all these hitters are telling these pitchers right here, Fafo, dude.
Yep.
Fafo.
No,
Funk around.
They're stealing signals, aren't they? Aren't they stealing signs?
Nah, that's
tipping
old,
off pitches.
That's old ball. That's old
No,
ball.
I mean now even not illegally, but if you could watch it, you can.
Oh yeah,
pick it up.
pitchers will still tip their pitches a little bit.
Like where the glove is. All
Yeah.
that stuff, right?
Shit. He left another shirt here. Another mantra.
What?
Oh. AJ, I think this is you talked about off-season mantras and everything.
Yeah.
This one's a sweet one here. Okay, so it's black on black, so it might be tough. Respect all.
Yep.
Okay.
And you know what's coming. You know what's coming.
Fear none. Yep.
Fear none. Fear none.
That's got to be the off-season workout shirt.
Custom cut
Has
jobs
to
for
be.
you too.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm more of a never
Yeah.
mind. Guys, Texas.
Closer to the nips.
Yeah, hook them.
Yeah, I like a little bit of sauce on the cut.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not just on the arm. I like take that son bitch right down here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like take that and let it a little loose. Let the
airflow
arms breathe. Yeah, this is not the most comfortable shirt. I love it though. I will wear it to work out and do things going forward. And I'll walk into a weight room and I'll look at each individual weight and I'll say, huh? right now.
Each one.
Each individual dumbbell, kettlebell, you name it. Everything I'm going to say right here. You look at me sideways this morning, you're about to find out. But it is a little bit uncomfortable here under these lights. Let's I've had to pee for 45 minutes.
Take a break and come back.
Thanks for taking a break.
Let's do that.
What time? This is cool. I talked about the clock. It's fun. It is.
You got an analog?
It reminds me.
It's a analog
big
clock or
watch.
what?
It's a big watch. It's like fifth. Yeah. It takes me back to like elementary school, and you look up at the clock and have to figure out how much time you got until you're allowed to get the hell out of here and go sell cigs or whatever. You know?
Sure.
Exactly.
That's what I feel like.
Yeah.
All right. Afterwards, we'll do our picks, though, right?
Yes, absolutely. And we're seeing the field. Let's not. Hey, and last night, public money, Tone, right? Won.
Yeah, again.
Yeah, there it is.
That's
a beautiful setup.
9 straight road
Thank
favorites have won, so that's huge.
Yeah, but how much money was on? 85% of the money last night was on Broncos?
Yep, 80, 85.
So bad for the books?
Yes, bad for the books. Still bad for the books.
And it went over.
Yeah, it did.
So what's that, 10-0 straight, right? Or how much with that much money on after last weekend?
It was 7-2 2 weeks ago. Last week was 8 or 9-0. So, yeah, and then this week's obviously 1-0 to start.
Here we go.
Rolling.
10 straight.
Wow.
Yeah,
10 straight
yes.
public.
Yes.
That's huge.
Good for us.
Because of how the season started, yeah. So let's assume that we are the dipshits that are just going to side with the public mostly. It feels like we're hot right now. Yeah. That's good.
We are.
Let's make these picks.
Let's make these picks after. You can go take a leak. We'll come back, take a quick 3 or 5. You good, Pat?
Yeah, well, what are you going to do?
You said you had to
You
take
all
a leak.
right?
Yeah. What are you doing? What are you doing, AJ?
What are you thinking? Hey, Gumpy, what do you think AJ's doing?
Gumpy, get on cam, Gump. Let me see your head. There's no way your head's that small, Gump.
Yeah, it is.
Gump, these sunglasses are.
So from your eyeballs to your ears is like an inch and a half? Or like a half an inch?
I don't know. I haven't measured them lately, AJ. I'll make sure I do that.
To be clear, Gumpy had an extra pair of sunglasses. He was prepared. This is not a bad thing.
Yeah, and they look good.
That's a great.
They're
I'm not
good
saying it's bad.
frames.
What do you mean?
Good
He's
frames.
a handsome guy. I'm not saying anything bad. I just didn't know.
The internet had their jokes earlier about what I look like, and I do understand. I'm the one that forgot to say this thing though. Like if I was to put them where I actually put them, I saw on the plane, not even really making it through my ear is a wild. I do feel like I picked these up at a kid's store, but these are Gump's, and he had an extra pair, and I'm very thankful. I'm very, very thankful in Texas. This is on me, not on Gumpy. Jeez Louise.
Okay.
Jeez. Gumpy didn't deserve that. Okay. Gumpy had a speaker this morning, 100% power on that flight.
Hell yeah.
We turned that music all the way up. We were rocking from Indiana.
What was he playing?
What about his phone?
Well, the phone does.
I've been fucking done with it. Okay.
Phone does not work.
Can't take it. It's losing my mind with no phone.
SOS it says, and I think that means just shitty out service for him, or all of it. This guy's been going through it with his phone. He has a Canadian phone. You see, we should have known there's no chance it works in Texas.
No
we
way.
should have known that.
They don't let that in there.
You need to take those off.
What are you talking
It
about?
looks like it's cutting off the blood flow to your head.
Well, I've been pretty red here. It's hot as shit, and I naturally run red.
That's
and it's
football.
only been, yeah, it is Texas. So, and then the orange right behind me, not good. Nothing's really good for me here. nothing was going to be a good setup. Let alone the red right here, and then the orange here, and then what my natural flavor is of white, and then you add these glasses on. People were letting jokes fly, AJ. People were letting their jokes fly. Let's see who's laughing after we make these picks, and I bet 1,000. Okay, we're already both 1-0. Same with Chuck. Chuck is now 6-1.
Huge
on Thursday Night Football against the spread. Let's continue to win, AJ, on the other side.
Yes, let's continue to win. We'll take a quick 3 or 5. Come on back.
Well, nonetheless, as of February 1st, Pat McAfee is officially a contributor with WWE.
Living his dream to be a part of WrestleMania.
I want to see Pat McAfee tonight.
I've been preparing for this my entire life.
McAfee wins! McAfee wins! Pat McAfee has done it again! It's time to toast the boys and toast the brand. McAfee's wanted to drink beer with Stone Cold forever. Stunner!
There was a point in my life, all I could think about doing was professional wrestling.
McAfee closing in on another WrestleMania victory.
First, we're going to have to get the okays, obviously. And we did from people high up. They were the only people that knew for a while. There was like 3 people that knew in the whole world that was going to potentially be a situation for a little bit.
City of Stars, Boston Connors here. We will be there tonight. Nobody's supposed to know we're here. It's going to be tough. And if you're a man that's only known for wearing tank tops, you kind of got to cover it up. I didn't see him. Hey, I'm Pat. Nice to meet you. He's hanging in the back. One second. Here you go. Am I putting this on my face? I can't see shit. Who's all gonna be in here?
Nobody. This is you until you go out.
Come on, dude. Let's go ahead and take a look around. There's some bunk beds there. You know, there's a shitter and a shower here in the back.
He sat in that bus 6, 7, 8 hours, 9, 10 hours.
I'm coming down that thing. Holy fuck, what a view that's gonna be. Hell yeah. Look at all those fucking people that are gonna be there.
Just waiting, for an opportunity to potentially have a WrestleMania moment.
It's ridiculous. This is awesome. WWE is just like the best at operating. They take care of the non-obvious. So we're very thankful to be here. And tonight should be fucking sick. Hell yeah. I think there's like 3 people I know I'm here.
Are we not supposed to come in here?
No, yeah.
All right.
4 now. Look at you.
Won't fucking say a word.
I'll see you at SoFi. You going to be in LA?
I don't know, George. Is it,
it's a loaded question.
George, we don't know, George. You don't know, maybe.
What's up, stud?
Oh, nice.
As soon as I saw George showcase that tight end university tank top, I knew there was a chance old George was about to do something special.
Are you kidding, boys?
Welcome to WrestleMania!
The night was getting late.
We weren't sure.
We didn't know if a moment was going to pop up where maybe my services could be utilized.
I haven't been in a ring since SummerSlam. Okay, like not even in one.
All I wanted was the Miz to have an opportunity to have a
match,
just a WrestleMania match.
Yeah, good guy. Stand there.
And then the Miz mentions, I sent out an open challenge, and we go,
oh my God.
There it is.
And I put out an open challenge, and no one responded. Why? Because I'm the Miz, and I'm awesome! Let's go!
Wait a minute! I feel Pat McAfee's here!
I have walked out into a stadium as a WWE superstar probably 1,000,000 times in my head.
WrestleMania was missing Pat McAfee in the Pat McAfee Show!
And I'm thankful to the WWE Universe that said hello whenever I came out on that massive fucking stage.
By the way, there's only 2 announcers undefeated in WrestleMania history, me and Pat. I can't believe McAfee's here!
Hello, beautiful people!
What's up, Snoop?
What's up, Snoop?
You're a legend, dog. You're the best, dog. Hello, Miz. None of us saw this alleged open challenge that you said. But good news. This is my WrestleMania tank top. If you still would like a match, why don't you let me beat your ass right here, right now? You all want to see The Miz versus Pat McAfee right here, right now? I'm the host of WrestleMania, and I cannot make matches official.
Miz, I do believe your tiny balls are showing.
Tiny balls. Tiny balls.
Baby meat as well. There's
80,497
people here. Somebody has to be able to make a match official somewhere.
I am the dog father and the host of WrestleMania, so I feel like I could make that match happen. Right now, we got a ref, we got you, Let's get cranking. I'm out. Let's go.
And McAfee, go right after Miz with the right hand. Driving Miz back into the corner. Pat McAfee in action. This is a blatant He takes his duties as host of WrestleMania. Oh yes, Buster! Derelict shows up. And check out his tank top though. He's got sparkles on it. You're behind this, aren't you? But no, I had no idea. You said the same thing in the Rumble. I didn't know this guy was showing up. Oh, what a kick by McAfee! Biz.
Hey, baby boss! Baby boss! Tiny meat!
In a $7,000 tuxedo. Yeah, good. George Kittle of the San Francisco 49ers. I'm not sure how wise that was. McAfee's got the official distracted in the ring. Kittle just took out Miz. Kittle telling McAfee to go on top. McAfee heading up to the top rope. And taking out the Miz. Now we're talking. Miz may never win another match. McAfee closing in on another WrestleMania victory. The all-decade punter with a punt to end this thing. Here's your winner, Pat McAfee. A surprise here tonight at WrestleMania Goes Hollywood.
That match was awesome. I had so much fun there. That was a good time. The punt was fucking hilarious. You got a tiny ball champ going. I had a feeling. You're Steve here all day. Oh, I wanted to text you earlier. I was told not to text you.
Well, of course. Nobody fucking texts
I was
you.
told
Okay,
not to
fake,
text you.
dude.
You had a hell of a feeling. I'm so thankful to the people at the WWE. It was a super cool night, super cool moment, and I'm very thankful for it all.
5:30 a.m. Sunday. This day started 6:30 a.m. Saturday. So much cool shit happened in between now and then. Joke of an existence. I'm very thankful for everything. Let's go take a nap, please.
Hey! Let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. You pig!
Damn it!
Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show. I'm AJ Hawk sitting in for Pat here in India as he's down in Austin, Texas for a huge matchup tomorrow, Georgia, Texas, at DKR Field. Football!
What the hell is
What's
going
that?
on?
You all right? You got to get in a bunker or something?
Attention, please. An emergency situation has been detected in the building. Oh, no. Please evacuate immediately in accordance with safety and security regulations. Use stairwells.
drill?
Do not use elevators. Repeat. Use stairwells. Do not use elevators.
All right, we're going to hang around and see what this is all about. I would assume this is like a practice situation.
It's got to be a test.
I would assume. I don't know if you guys see any laser pointers. I just told the boys over here. There's been a group of men, a small group here of phenomenal human beings that have stopped by. And AJ, I mean, is this real?
Is Bevo
Could you
loose?
imagine?
Yeah, Bevo loose in the building.
On the concourse?
Did
Cutting heads.
Glenn Powell just get there?
Glenn Powell might be too hot because Glenn Powell got here, had his shirt off. Prince Makamura, I believe, is here. I think I just spoke to him. He's down on the field walking around. As soon as I saw Prince, this started though. So he might have been, his electricity might have been a part of it. But the boys that have joined us over here, honestly, what a crew of guys. I don't know how they got here. Legitimately, I don't know if they just walked right in, whatever the case is. Maybe that's why this could be happening. There's a guy named Jaden here on the far left. His family is from Greenwood, Indiana. He's a Colts fan, far left side right there. Next to him, Tay Moore. You see this guy? He's wearing an AJ Hawk jersey, AJ.
Wow.
This guy's got a Hawk jersey on down here in Texas.
Wow.
Absolutely loves it. And then you got Bruce and Chris there next to him. These boys are from all over. Yeah.
Let's
Bruce
go.
is born 5 minutes from here. Hey, I've seen them there. And then Chris is living in South Carolina, but born and raised here. They watch the program,
That's
obviously. They're big fans. It's great to see him. Boys, I think you should probably get out of here.
Don't use the elevator.
Hey, boys
she
in
said.
Indianapolis are saying hook 'em, boys. Hook 'em, hook 'em, hook 'em. Hook 'em. They're excited. You can hear them, obviously. It's hard to hear them over the emergency announcement about us needing to leave the stadium and take the stairwells, not the elevator. But let's assume it means nothing. Let's assume it means nothing going on here.
Yeah,
assume it's nothing.
the people on the field behind you aren't scrambling, so you should be all right.
I'm a little bit worried. We might be FAFOing right now.
Yeah,
we might be FAFOing with Fade here. I need a DoorDash potentially. A helmet at least. I mean,
something. Maybe that chopper will come pick you up if there actually is an issue.
Yeah, jump in.
Nobody is stressed. There's got to be a rehearsal. So let's just act like nothing's happening.
Yeah,
let's just act like nothing's
let's just do our. You want to do our picks?
You know what? Let's DoorDash our picks to these people.
Oh, yeah. Let's DoorDash. Let's do this.
Hey, your answer of saying I'm DoorDashing a plunger the other day.
Yeah.
So real in 2024. Whenever Greg asked that question about whenever you drop a massive dump and clog a toilet at a friend's house, what do you do? And JJ Watt said you roll up your sleeves, you get in there. And I think there were some other answers. You immediately said DoorDash a plunger, which I might need to do if these sirens keep going off. Feels like I'm in a horror film.
Yeah.
It is a pretty spooky voice. It sounds like one of those
like The Purge.
Yeah, Purge, or maybe like a game, like you're in, what's that one?
Squid Games.
I would like to play Squid Games? Like a Squid Game one? Yep, that
Fallout.
whole thing. Yeah. I'll tell you what, I don't know if this is the message, how they should be delivering this message. I know they're rehearsing it. I think they should have a little bit more of a
urgency.
It's kind of a freaky voice.
Yeah.
It's kind of
more panic.
Yeah. Get the fuck out!
Texas. A little bit more Texas. There's a southern accent on this, I think I get.
Southern drawl, right? We can't use robot voice.
McConaughey should record his.
Bingo. Like, I think everybody in here is going to be like, lady, I don't want to hear it. But if you drop a little, like, sounds like one of us, maybe there's a little bit more.
That's freaking
reaction.
Y'all need to get.
Yeah.
Bingo.
There's trouble.
By Matthew McConaughey.
Right.
Have the lights do what they're doing up here and have McConaughey pop up there and go, y'all need to get now. You hear it? No. There's
That'd be sweet.
And he does a whole song and dance.
Trouble on the
I feel like that. Yeah. This one, I don't know if this is Texas, but there's people climbing poles, light poles over here. There's people on the field. Seems like nobody's worried. And Bruce, Chris, Jaden, and Tamor are certainly not worried about it at all. So I think we just move along with our picks and just act like you can't hear what's going on behind us.
Nice.
I think that's probably the right move.
There we go. All right, first one up, we got the Patriots taking on the Jags. This one is in London, so 9:30 a.m. Eastern kick. Here we go. The Patriots or Jags?
I'll take the Patriots just because, I don't like that the Jags are 6-point favorites. Connor, what the hell happened?
No, I love it. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson kind of questionable. He did make the trip, though. Should be something to keep an eye on. And then also defense has just been kind of tough since Juwan Bentley got hurt with the pec injury. But I expect big things, huge things from Drake, man. Like I said, I think he's going to break every rookie passing record that you can. I don't know which ones qualify, especially with all the bullshit stats these days, but Drake's going to have the best one of all time.
Oh. They're not bullshit. They just don't make sense sometimes.
He's going to complete the most percentage of passes. Jesus Christ. The highest percentage of passes over respect. Got a lot of noise going on.
Neil Brown situation.
I'm pumped for it. Big things Sunday morning.
I guess there is a kitchen situation happening somewhere, hopefully not directly below me. But from what I've been told is there's a kitchen sitch brewing somewhere. Hopefully everybody's okay and they figure it out. Obviously, I don't think Jaden, Tamor, Bruce, or Chris are part of the staff that need to be fixing this because they have not moved a muscle. But hopefully everything gets kind of sorted out. I'll take the Patriots, AJ.
All right. I will take the Patriots as well. 6 points just seems disrespectful almost. Like that. Like what are we doing? So yeah, I'm
not sure if ETN is playing either. But Tank Bigsby's also nasty.
Oh, I think we're done.
Nope, I just muted the mic.
You're gonna ride the levels. All right, Dolphins taking on the Colts. Here we go in the Loud House. Here we go. This is a 1 o'clock kickoff on Fox.
Yes,
it's not a Tom Brady game, but somebody will be great there.
Yes, it is a 1 o'clock kickoff. You can put that on repeat, okay, for Colts home
games. That's good though. You want to do the same thing, right? Get in a rhythm. That's what they want.
Well, same thing would not be, the story of this particular weekend because Anthony Richardson is back in the lineup. And I'll have you know, from what I'm being told, he's sussing and tussing for you. A Dairy Queen and on the field. I think he's going to do good. Give me the Indianapolis Colts, obviously, in the lot house.
Yeah, I got to take the Colts here, too. 3-point favorites at home. Dolphins, who knows what's going on there. I know Gumpy has his finger on the pulse, but I like the Colts here as well.
Okay, I hope everybody's okay in that kitchen. Speaking of the kitchen, the NFC North is the kitchen. It is hot in the kitchen. Lions, Dogs, taking on the Minnesota Vikings. No Aiden Hutchinson, no move as of yet. Hey, Foxy, that Max Crosby, that get you guys a little bit excited, huh, Bob?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I thought there was a 0% chance that the Lions would get Max Crosby, and then I saw that video you're talking about, and now I think there's definitely a chance that they're snooping around a little bit.
Yeah, because he said, I'm here to win. I'm not here to rebuild. Wherever I am, I'm going to be there to win. I'm going to be here to win. It's like, whoa. Devontae Adams traded. Is Max Crosby? Nope, he's not. He's a Raider for life, right? Raider for life.
That's what they're saying.
We'll be bold. Brady,
so.
first move. Let's get Max Crosby out of here.
Yeah, Tom Brady, hands-on from what we've been told by Lombo. Lions, Vikings, I'll take the Lions. I'll take the Lions going in, even though, is Jamie Erdahl doing the horn? Is that this weekend?
Oh, it might be.
Or is it, I think it was against the Colts, maybe? Whatever the case, I'll take the Lions going in there.
All right, you know what? I'm going to take Sam Darnold and the Vikings here at home. I think it should be a good game. It's going to be a fun one to watch. But as we move on, Tennessee taking on Buffalo in Buffalo, and Tennessee is 9-point dogs. That seems like a lot of points.
I would take the Buffalo Bills and give me a Amari Cooper touchdown as well.
Yep.
Oh, man.
I like it.
I'm with you. Give me the Bills. -9 at home. Why not? Here we go. Seattle Seahawks taking on the Atlanta Falcons. Seahawks are 3-point dogs on the road in Atlanta.
Are they on the road?
It's in Atlanta, yes.
Is it?
I'm excited that Kirk Cousins
I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Actually,
become the
with after what Kirk said,
Kirk
what
said-
is this?
Yeah, that's why it didn't make sense to
Are we
me
sure?
yesterday when I heard it. No, it's in Atlanta.
Oh.
Really? So he's saying that
What's this about?
Seattle's coming to walk in his trap. He's saying.
and he said we gotta protect
trap?
this trap.
Yep.
Oh.
Kirk's trap.
Fun fact about Pat McAfee.
Maybe Kirk
I
doesn't
believe
know.
I believe my mother was pregnant in the upstairs of a trap house. As soon as my parents moved out of said house, massive drug raid, I guess. So
Wow.
shout out to the cops, not going in there while I was inside my mom's tummy, and my little brother, or my older brother was growing up in there. And speaking of trap houses, I believe if Kirk Cousins is the head chef at said trap house, they're going to continue to do well. I will take the Atlanta Falcons, favored by 3 at home against the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm going to ride with you here. Falcons at home, 3-point favorites. Yeah, give me them. That was a move.
Why is Kirk saying that, though?
What was the
I-
question did they ask him? Like, what prompted that
know.
response?
Maybe Kirk isn't familiar with what the line means.
Yeah, maybe it's just
No,
like,
he
hey,
was
what's
very
your
comfortable. He was very comfortable.
favorite quote, maybe. And he was like, of course. Aside
Like
from-
you're doing a Mad Libs? Remember Mad Libs?
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I think it was like John 3:16 and then walking in your trap, take your trap.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of Mad Libs, when's the pod coming back? Is that you guys season 2? When's that?
It's
all-
on its way.
Yeah.
We were actually having some early meetings yesterday.
In the writer's room yesterday.
About it.
So, but you know how these things
Really?
go. You know how long these things take. You know, you want a good product, you're gonna have to.
Flush it out.
Shuck a few oysters, they say.
We're not just going to go wheel the ball out there and play, you know.
How many meetings have we had? Writing meetings.
I mean,
How many
shit,
are there?
20, 25? It's,
Yeah.
there's
So we're
been a
near the
lot.
end.
You actually,
So
you, you actually sat in on one yesterday, Pat. What we were
Remember?
doing after the show yesterday. That was a good,
Remember?
that was a pretty good writer's
Wait,
room
see,
process.
Wait till you hear what was developed this morning.
I was
with
gonna
that.
say, special little treat. I might send it to you after the show.
And look at your reaction. Look at your reaction. You're laughing. So people know.
Season 2 is going to be good.
Bang.
Yep.
Season 2 is going to be good. How did AJ get in the writers'
Yep.
room?
Oh
this
yeah.
morning?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. He got a heavy dose.
Saw a sneak peek at
As soon as he
the
walked in.
future.
I wasn't there this morning a little bit.
Saw a sneak peek of a few
Oh,
very
no.
tasty developments.
So is that going to be on that stuff's going to be for the pod?
Yeah.
Is that, okay. Hey,
Pod season 2.
I eagerly await
Listen, if
season 2
Shane,
of
if
the
Shane
pod.
Gillis can do it, we can do it too.
Oh boy.
No, that is not accurate. That is not accurate. All right, let's
a fun
move
writers'
along.
room, by the
I'm
way.
happy to hear that about the pod, though.
Yep.
I'm happy to hear that.
All right, the Texans traveling to Lambeau, taking on the Packers. The Texans 2.5-point dogs on the road. Who you got?
Ty, this Packers team is just unflappable. Romeo Dobbs was pissed. He had some stuff going on. He comes back as a massive piece. Feels like LaFleur's culture is all the way settled in, right? Is that how you feel?
Yeah, I think they're starting to hit their stride a little bit. Jordan Love's fully healthy, and he looked much better last week. Granted, the Cardinals aren't great, but the way their defense have been playing, I know C.J. Stroud he's not careless with the ball, but they lead the NFL in takeaways, and Lambeau, at least so far this year, has felt like it's a home field advantage again. So, and obviously, no Nico Collins is massive for the Packers as well.
Yeah, I love CJ. When was CJ on? Last week? 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
Everything's kind of blending together.
Last
Nico Collins last week. Nico, massive piece. Oh, yeah. AJ, which way you're going with the Packers? I assume.
Yeah, even like obviously I'm somewhat biased because I played there for a while, but I love what the Packers are doing. Honestly, when I watch Jordan Love and their offense, like he spreads the ball around, and then how their defense takes it away. Yeah, I'm a massive fan of what they're doing.
All right, I'll take the win in Lambeau. CJ Wood, go ahead.
Did you see the Jair and Diggs thing too? They have a nice little rivalry. There was the clip that came out that was from either last season or 2 years ago, where Jair and Stephon Diggs were running onto the field from the tunnel in Buffalo, just jawing at each other.
I remember that.
Face to face.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago when Rodgers was still there.
Yeah, 2 years ago. So that is a nice little matchup as well to look forward to on Sunday.
Also,
And it feels like. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say, hopefully with Brandon McManus, maybe a couple of those kicks that the Packers had been missing, expect those to go through this week.
Welcome back to the league, Brandon McManus. A lot happened there.
Yeah.
And I think the NFL did their investigation, right, is what they said?
Yep.
And that was an NFL plane, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you would assume that they literally talked to everybody. So for McManus, I assume mentally he is very excited to be back on a football team after all this. Mm-hmm. And I think you guys should give him like a week or two. I know you won't, especially because he's a veteran or whatever, but there might be a little bit. I mean, mentally, that's heavy stuff, especially if you feel as if you're innocent through it all and how public it was. And McManus was a part, like, Super Bowl champion. He's been around the NFL a long time. I think he's NFLPA member. He's, So for everything that happened almost seemingly quickly, for the NFL to do their investigation, and once again, we did not do our own investigation, so I guess that's on us. But the NFL doing it and coming out and saying, like, hey, this is how he's good to get back into a game, I think is a big deal for him. I do think you guys having a kicker is massive for you going forward. McManus has been a great kicker in the league for a long time. I'll take the Packers as well. I want to take the Texans there, though, bad. I want to take the Texans bad right there. Real bad.
It's a good matchup. That could be a Sunday night game.
Yeah.
I'll take the Texans.
Okay. All right. You take the Texans.
Win in Lambeau would be crazy. That would be crazy.
1 o'clock, beautiful day at Lambeau, beautiful fall day. Like, that's going to be picturesque, as they say.
So it's noon for both of them, right? Because that's Central Time.
Yeah. Yep.
But Houston's used to it. That's not that big of a deal. CJ will, if he knows Stephon, right, and Jair have a thing, CJ feels like a quarterback that will want his guy to win, that type of shit.
Yep.
All right, I'll take the Texans. It's a good game, though.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
And unlike last week when AJ said it was going to be a beautiful fall day and it was pouring to start the game,
what was that
this
about?
week is actually supposed to be like 75 and sunny.
Yeah, and the Packers are wearing their winter storm warning all-white alternate uniforms, so a lot of people are excited about that as well.
Do we call them winter storm warnings?
Yes,
I will
they
take
are.
the Packers. I will take the Packers.
Okay, you take the Packers.
Yep,
All
boom,
right,
winter
here we
storm
go.
warning.
We're both on the Pack. All right. What?
I just don't think they'll lose that game.
Yeah, I don't either. That's
Jordan
why I
Love
picked
doesn't feel like a guy that's going to lose that game.
Not
that
in the
doesn't feel
all-whites.
like yeah, that's what I'm saying. All whites, big game, massive. But with CJ, is he going to walk in your trap?
Take your trap.
I will take the. I'll take the Texans.
Okay.
Man, in the storm warning.
You got the Texans, right?
Yeah, I'll take the Texans. Dumpy, who do you like? You like?
I like the Texans.
Oh.
All right, I'll go with Texans.
Okay.
All right, I'll go with the Texans.
You got the Texans. I
Bengals,
got
Browns.
the Pack. Here we go. Bengals, Browns.
Battle of Ohio.
Bengals are 5.5 point favorites on the road in Cleveland. Are the Browns going to turn it on? I've been reading stuff on the internet. They said they might have found something this week in practice.
Chubb's back, I think.
They might have found something?
Yeah, I heard they might have found something. They think they might be able to turn it on.
They dug a hole and
unlock
found
the
some
offense.
stuff in the ground. Yeah, they found like a hidden treasure.
Yeah.
Chubb could be.
So you taking the Browns?
Everyone's bringing their own towels this week.
I will take the Browns just because there's no way they're supposed to be even in it.
Yeah.
So I'll take the Browns.
All right, I'll take the Bengals here on the road. Hey, Battle of Ohio. It's going to be fun. Okay, Eagles taking on Bruce Brown's New York Giants. Not sure how Bruce feels about the Giants right now, but Eagles are 3-point favorites on the road. What are you thinking here?
Favorites on the road. What's that stat that came out this morning? It's a big one.
The over 60%, or sorry, favorites on the road were just 9-0 in their last, 9, obviously.
Against the spread?
No. Oh, yes, sorry.
I'll take the Eagles.
Yep, give me the Eagles on the road. I don't know what.
Bruce, how do you feel,
What's
Bruce?
happen here, Bruce?
Andrew Thomas, our stud left tackle, is out for the year with a Liz Frank. You've seen this movie. You've heard this story. Eagles 42, Giants 10.
Jeez. Sirianni won a game, and they wanted to call for his head. So I assume that was not a winner mentality all week. I don't think they just got comfortable. I assume things are a little tense potentially at the Eagles building. Need to get another one. I'll take the Eagles. And Bruce, Jesus Christ, 32-10, is that what he said?
He said
42.
42.
Yeah, 42.
Oh, my.
40.
Oh my
Maybe
God.
alternate spread that thing to 28.5.
Yep, put Danny
Yeah, I
down
guess so.
for a nice pick six. Probably pretty aesthetically pleasing, very funny, amusing.
What
pick
happened?
six the
You
other
guy
way.
didn't look terrible against the Bengals.
No,
Bruce?
this is just the beginning of the end, Gump. You know
Are you
it,
having
I
fun?
know it.
I don't know.
Are you happy?
Bruce?
Are you
Come
happy,
on.
Bruce?
Yeah.
Is the tailgate fun?
Yeah, the tailgate will be fun.
Still got the Raiders.
Yeah.
No, the Raiders are in a good spot. He's got the Yankees. That's all Bruce has got.
That's right.
Rangers are buzzing too. Beat the shit out of the Red Wings last night.
Wow. I didn't know that happens to the Red Wings every night. I didn't know that.
The Red
Jeez.
Wings don't start playing hockey till there's snow on the ground. Everyone knows that.
That's why they never make
storm
the
is coming.
playoffs.
Ain't that right? Ain't that right?
Swing.
No.
Boom.
What?
All right.
Panthers traveling to
Who
Washington.
are you taking, AJ?
Oh, I took the Eagles. I'm taking them. Yeah. I mean, after
Okay.
Bruce was bringing endorsement of the Giants, I'm not going to switch my pick now. You
Yeah,
kidding
he
me?
wasn't bringing the boom on that one.
No, he
No,
wasn't.
he wasn't. Hey, how long have they been big though? Like for real?
I mean, AJ's
Well,
been
how long
pretty
is-
jacked for quite some time.
How
my
long have you
friend.
been keeping track of time?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. When did they really gain all their traction?
The Mayan calendar,
92.
AJ?
Yeah.
All right, I stand corrected. I
Still
thought
bringing
was,
it.
Thought it was boom. Yeah, and they're still so young.
what they do.
They bring the boom.
They bring the boom to you.
I guess it will be a fun case study on what's it like for that guy when he's older, when you grow up.
You mean
they
president
That's a
of the United
professional
States?
wrestler.
Yeah,
The whole
Big
family
Gus?
is a
Probably
professional wrestler. That
Right.
That is what the case study is here.
That
And there's
or
a chance the
president.
Rizzler's the president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They call him the Rizzler. He's the Panther dressed in black.
I'm around people that love these guys too. So
He gives the Riz face.
Yeah,
Right
you're
now.
around those people right now,
Yeah.
AJ.
I know that's
He
what
gives
I'm saying.
the Riz
Everybody.
face and what?
You know what?
There's no chance your girl coming back.
Yeah, your girl ain't coming back.
I've seen him do all his BMX tricks.
Yeah, four-leaf
Four-leaf clover.
The four-leaf clover.
I haven't seen that. There's more to learn. I
he's-
guess.
Boy.
Think of like
But you're
X
gonna
Games.
need you're gonna
Think
need
of
to
X
sit
Games
down
on
to watch it
steroids.
anyways.
Yeah.
Well, of course, whenever Big Costco comes on my screen, I find the nearest seat because I know heat's coming, bub.
A lot of
Little
booms.
Costco. Are we talking about the Riz or Little Costco?
Riz.
Who's
Riz.
The,
Rizzler.
the Riz is a BMXer?
Oh,
He's a former pro.
With the
Nitro
pe-
Circus
with
brought
the
him in.
pegs. He's got all the
He's
pegs.
6 years old. What do you mean he's a former? He's,
I think- I
I
thought
don't
he
even
was
know if that
30.
kid's
No,
fine.
he's only 6.
No, he's
Rizzler?
9.
Yeah.
He's 9.
Well, like remember Milanakis back in the day?
Andrew?
He was there was a case study.
No, he
There
was
a
older.
case-
He
Beans
was
on his head. Don't call him a
he was much older.
Yeah, he had a condition.
Oh, okay. Look at the Riz. Here we go.
Oh, look at the
Is this the X
Riz.
Games?
There it is.
No
One
hander.
hand.
No hander.
He's got no pegs. I don't. This is not good for the.
Oh, no,
Nah,
no,
this
hander,
ain't,
no
this
hander.
ain't his bike.
One
This
hand,
ain't his
one hand.
bike.
The man the way I do it.
Here's the four-leaf clover.
Four-leaf clover's all you need to
Oh! See ya!
Yeah, you're seeing it right, Pat. You're seeing it.
Yeah,
I'm okay with the Riz not being a BMXer.
What are you talking
And I don't like that.
Better try
to finish doing it.
Everyone
Watch
do it.
everybody.
Four-leaf
Oh,
clover.
shit. Is that Pastrana?
Yeah.
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 Is that Pastrana?
Yeah.
yeah.
Nitro Circus? Mm-hmm. This is how I do my bike tricks.
About to
One hand.
triple
One
back. He's got a triple
hand.
backflip coming.
One hand.
He's got
Next
my clip.
is probably a no-hander, I guess.
Boom.
Boop.
Boom.
Boop.
Matt Hoffman's there, too.
But
Oh boy.
I love Matt Hoffman, Travis Pastrana.
Burnquist.
I think
Bob.
Bingo.
Mira.
I think
Dave
they
Mira.
even got.
Wow.
He's dead.
I think they even got. Rest in peace. Liam Payne too. He died yesterday. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
One Direction kid, right?
Yeah.
I saw that's sad.
That was sad.
Brutal.
That was sad.
Sad.
What happened? I don't know what happens there. This stuff's crazy. I hope he's okay. I hope he's okay. Well, he's not. I hope his family's okay. Hope his family's okay. That's tough, dude.
Panthers taking on Washington.
Dude, out of nowhere, the guy just goes on a vacation, then all of a sudden doesn't come back. That's wild. That's crazy. I guess this happens a lot, but to a celeb, that's wild. Wild.
Super talented kid. Super talented.
Rest in peace, Liam. Rest in peace, Liam.
For real.
You did good, bub. You did good. Panthers, Commanders. Commanders favored by 8. That could be 20, and I'd take them. Give me the Commanders.
Okay, give me 20. I might change, but at 8, I'm going to take the Commanders here at home.
I will take it at 8. I will take it at 8. I don't want it at 20. I'll take it at 8.
Oh, okay. All right. I think we're both on the same page there. Now we go to the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Los Angeles Rams in at SoFi, I guess. And what the Raiders are 7-point dogs. Aiden O'Connell starting quarterback.
I think so. And Cooper Kupp is questionable. His first game back since week 2, potentially.
Max Crosby still playing?
Yeah.
You'd think Max is going to have a big day, right? I mean, he always does, but
think
like
so.
he'll be even extra chip, extra motivation.
What was the record I saw? Stafford's like 1-5 and something. What was it? His name, it was in the group, I think. It was in the group. Maybe it was on the internet. Not 100% sure.
I mean, is Max Crosby playing quarterback? That's the only question we have to ask.
I saw Aiden O'Connell take a shot from T.J. Watt and deliver a dime over the middle.
Yeah, he did.
It was a good throw.
2 days ago.
That's true.
2 days ago, I saw that. We're trying to make T.J. Watt look good. The only person I saw was the guy with the mustache who never leaves the pocket.
That's right.
I guess he has
Not once.
Not once.
not one pass outside the pocket.
420 attempts.
This guy is finding space in the pocket and he's staying in there. He's not moving. And that's the patience you're looking for in a quarterback, especially a young one with a mustache on. That being said, feels like the Raiders are a little bit disarray right now. A little bit disarray. What's going on? I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. They lose Devontae, but he hadn't been playing for the last couple weeks because his hamstring, which is healthy. Congrats to him. Getting that whole thing figured out. I'll take the Rams. I'll take the Rams. -7. I'll take the Rams.
That's what I'll do.
Yep. Go ahead, AJ.
Sticking with it. Yeah, give me the Rams -7. I was thinking of waffling back.
He'll
but
take
I'll
the Rams.
That's
-7. He'll take the Rams.
That's
what he'll do. How about the Chiefs?
Taking on
Against the Niners crew. How about the Chiefs?
What
And
will
they're
you
getting to. AJ, that was a question to you. Clearly.
I'm taking the Chiefs here. They're 2-point dogs on the road. Give me the Chiefs.
He'll take the Chiefs. Get into. He'll take the Chiefs. That's what he'll do. I'll take the Chiefs. Get into.
He'll take the
I'll take Chiefs. That's what I'll do. Come on, AJ, do the seg. Let's
What do we got
fucking go.
left? What do we have left?
Sunday Night Football.
Sunday Night Football.
Waiting all day for Sunday
night. You know what? We haven't been waiting all day, have we?
Aaron Rodgers.
We haven't been waiting all day.
We haven't been waiting
Conman?
all day in weeks. I'll just be completely honest. I'll be honest. I'm not going to be
quite
waiting
some
all,
time, you
I'm not-
said.
For this
not
one, you're
gonna
not?
be waiting all day for this piece of shit either.
Russell Wilson versus Aaron Rodgers head to head.
Oh man, I can't wait. I'm excited to watch.
What?
I'm excited to watch.
What's your
Rod
problem?
And Devontae.
What's your problem?
I mean,
what's your problem, Con?
I think they're fucking over my guy Justin Fields. That's what I think. I think this coach malpractice. 4-2. You know how many teams are killed to be 4-2? Me.
Tell him.
Yeah.
Tell him.
You're all on board.
Yeah, Tone.
You're on board with
tell
Russ.
me,
Tell
Tone.
us how you feel about Russ. We know you love him.
What people are saying is that the Steelers were on record for 12-5, and that just can't happen. We need 9-8, so that's why the move to Russ is happening.
Boom.
Okay, so it sounds like you're not on board. I heard there's some maybe loose lips that are maybe sinking some ships over there in the Steelers organization that are saying, we don't like this move either. We wanted Justin Fields. What's going on? Is everything okay in Pittsburgh?
Well, when injustice is being done, some people have to speak up. Okay, that's what needs to happen. And I don't know who Albie Breer's sources are, but I would assume when you go to hypothetical war with a bunch of men during training camp, and then through the first 6 weeks of the year, That's your guy in the foxhole. And now some other guy, some old general, 5-star general who comes in, thinks he knows everything. Okay, we'll see.
Super Bowl champion.
We'll see.
You just got to play well.
He is Super Bowl
Just got to play well, right? That's all he's got to do.
Over a decade ago.
Can you put that Albert Breer, who does a great job on Thursday Night Football? By the way, I didn't know he had that gig until last night. I saw it. He's doing great. SI's Albert Breer says there are a ton of people in the organization who don't want Russell Wilson to start. The chef's pissed. The chef said, like a ton of people in the organization.
Chef means something.
Maybe one of those surgeons. Maybe a physical therapist isn't happy about it.
Yeah.
Maybe there's somebody that drives the buses or the trucks for the Pittsburgh Steelers not thrilled about this. What does that mean? A ton of people in the organization.
Is a ton over half the people in the organization?
Tons over 10, yeah.
It's 2,000
Ton
pounds.
is close to a baker's dozen.
Okay, so about 11 and a half to 14 in there. I think that is where it's dancing. But people in the organization is funny to hear. Like, anybody that has real say, I'd like to know.
Cam
is this a
Hayward's
Rooney
pissed.
member?
He just had him on his podcast, and now he's not starting anymore.
True.
Cam said that?
No, but I'm just guessing.
Artie Smith is pissed.
Is he?
Is he?
Yeah.
Well, if
He might have been part of the
tea
decision.
leaves, if you listen to his answers,
What's he saying?
he said
What'd he
Justin
say,
played
yeah?
well.
You said Fields.
He's trying to build them both
He
up.
said Fields has been too hard on himself. He played well.
Fields is getting fucked. That's what I heard.
That's what you read between the lines.
Yeah.
You read between the lines.
Really?
You think they're
That's
happy,
what
Pat?
saying?
Are Pittsburgh people happy, Pat? For real? What do they think?
Listen, Pittsburgh people, as long as you win, they don't care.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson wins this weekend, Monday morning. We don't love it, but he's our quarterback. That'll be the way it goes. He loses the next week. We're winning with Justin.
Oh, yeah.
We're winning with Justin. That is just going to be how it's going to be all year. And I think Tomlin knew he signed up for that. Until somebody declares themselves a starter, which I think is what Tomlin is looking to do. They haven't even had a chance to see Russell Wilson, is what Tomlin is going to say and has said. We just want to know. Like, what if Russell goes in there and lights it up? Then everybody in Pittsburgh all of a sudden is going to be very quiet. He goes in there and stinks. I think then, maybe a declaration or a decision is going to be made sooner. I don't mind what Tomlin's doing. I think it sucks for Justin Fields. But the way Justin Fields is talking about it sounds like Justin Fields is understanding that if he gets an opportunity again, he's not going to let it up again. So it's like a little battle over there.
Steelers,
It's not a battle.
they aren't the Winter Wonderland or Winter Storm Warning jerseys.
Thank you.
But they are wearing their 50th anniversary Super Bowl jerseys with the gray face mask. They are stunning.
Ooh, I do like the gray
I don't
face
think it's going to change your two picks, but just wanted to put that out.
Gray face masks.
Yeah, that's what they did
Like the
back
Jets
in the
had
70s.
last game.
When they were, yeah.
Wow.
Hopefully they're not
They're
in the
pretty,
gray.
they are pretty cool.
Is Cam going to be a dog or not and have this one?
Well, Cam's number one rated defensive lineman in the NFL right now, so yeah,
Is he?
I would think he is.
Man, still
Is he going to do the
The
what
Mean
is it
Joe
called?
Green? Is he going to do the Mean Joe Green? He should.
Yeah, the duck or whatever they call it. The metal. The
nose
right down
nose
the
bar.
middle.
I had that in like 3rd and 4th grade.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We need it back.
pretty
We're going to do gray. Yeah,
I was
absolutely.
cross-eyed the
Why don't
whole
you do it?
time. Couldn't see it.
Yeah, it was hard not to focus on it.
Kind of made me cross-eyed, I think, for a couple of years. Yeah, I'm finally working out of it.
That's what Gumpy's sunglasses did to me earlier in the show.
Yeah.
That's not real, right? Those were props, right? Those were prop glasses, right?
That's what they do.
They make you look like a buffoon.
I got the Jets. I'm taking the Jets in this one.
Shock.
Give me the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Whoa!
+2.
I am a bit worried
Sure about that?
TJ might have a big
Nope,
night.
I'll take the Jets. I will take the New York Jets, favored by 2 in Pittsburgh, because Devontae and Aaron are about to cook. And when that song, now TJ is a physical force. I will say I am not thrilled that TJ Watt is on the opposite side of my particular pick. But when they, oh mama, I'm in fear for my life.
It's gonna juice up the Jets. Jets are pumped for that.
Aaron's going to put his arm around Devontae and go, remember all those years we used to really thrive in these moments? This is what it's all about. It's going to be a little taste of nostalgia.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little bit of throwback down memory lane.
Yeah.
And they're going to go out, and that actually, the towels twirling is going to backfire for Pittsburgh for the first time. Because Aaron Rodgers and Devontae are going to feel that wind. They're going to feel that Yinzer spirit. It's going to be coming off the river. It's going to go in there and he's going to say, let's do some throwback shit. Let's run our own offense. Let's do our thing. I think Sunday is going to be the start of this Jets team that's going to get Jets fans back excited to inevitably, potentially get their heart broken again. But I think Sunday night they get very excited. I think we have a happy Tuesday, and I think we continue to move. Now, I'm not saying the Steelers are done. No. I'm just saying with this energy this resurgence, and seemingly Devontae and Aaron not skipping a beat, I think the Jets get a win. Big one on Sunday Night Football.
I think, too. Tone, what do you think is going to happen, honestly? That atmosphere is going to be crazy, but if Russ doesn't come out on fire, it's going to be
I hope it's not
gonna be a
too
bit
crazy,
weird,
because if they are waving those towels too hard, I mean, a stiff breeze could blow Rodgers over right now. So I hope that doesn't happen.
Whoa.
What?
Tony.
I thought you were going to take a shot at Russ.
Mr. Shots.
Oh, and take a shot at my own quarterback.
Holy shit. Come on. Living legend Tony Hinchcliffe just showed up.
Tony,
literally
get him
just
on
walked in. I think he's got golf shoes on right now. I'm not 100% sure.
I heard he is into golf now.
That?
Are you wearing golf shoes right now?
Tony!
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't have
Hey, they can't hear you.
He can't hear us.
I'll turn it up. You can just hear it out of the echo here.
Tony!
What's up?
Hey, everybody.
Hey, they're big fans of yours.
Hell
Tony.
yeah.
Are you excited for tomorrow, man?
So excited.
I'm very lucky and thankful that you're coming out there. How are you going to handle it? Are we talking?
A lot of pressure, a lot of eyes on everybody's watching. You know, I was hoping to be the guy that makes the pick. I think I'm hanging out with you with the field goals.
Oh no!
But let me tell you
I didn't know that.
Scotty Scheffler.
But let me tell you something. I'm going to make my pick right now, an exclusive here.
Don't do that. We want to.
Oh, okay.
No, do the pick. No, do it. You should do it.
You got it.
Here's what I'm going to say. Georgia's a great team, but Texas is wild. They're eating the pets, they're eating the cats, and tomorrow they're eating the dogs.
Hook him.
5 million.
Hook him, Tony.
That's an amazing celebrity guest pick right there. I'll say that tomorrow during the guest pick.
Yeah.
I'll say just like Tony Hinchcliffe said yesterday, and then roll with it.
I
Are you
love it.
golfing?
No, I'm kicking field goal. I'm practicing field goals just in case you make me try to kick a field goal
What kind
tomorrow.
of shoes?
How would you fare?
Horrible. I've never kicked a field goal before in my life. That's why I'm wearing golf shoes right now.
So you're really going to go kick field goals right now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. We're wrapping up. Tony,
What do the
thank you
golf
so much.
shoes help for
Absolutely.
kicking?
Rock and roll. Good to see you, boys.
Hell yeah, Tony. Hook him.
Hook him down.
Love you. Bye.
Hey, the
Youngstown,
golf shoes,
Ohio.
can we get these?
Oh, yeah,
Can we get
there.
You're from Youngstown?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tony's
That makes sense.
gritty.
Okay. A lot of it makes sense.
We're going to have fun tonight.
They're looking at your shoes right now.
Callaway's.
Sweet.
Nice golf
They
shoes.
are
Oh,
golf shoes.
nice. Good tap dancing
Look at those
shoes.
fast feet. That guy's going to make a kick for sure. Look at those feet. Feet like a short.
Is he a
All right,
pro-
maybe not.
Pro dancer?
All right, Tony, good to see you, man. That was awesome. That was amazing. I guess there's a chance, me and Gumps get to see him do some comedy tonight.
Oh, nice.
And,
That's going to be awesome.
what I've been told is Tony Hinchcliffe live is a experience, and I
they use
cannot wait.
The mothership uses the yonder bags, too. There's no phones either, so they're really working their material.
Yeah, and I've already talked to a couple of the officers of the law on whether or not the marijuana, how that is allowed to be.
Decriminalized, I heard.
I don't think that's true. Actually, I think it's very illegal. But I don't think they do anything about it. Is what I've been told.
Yeah,
Just
okay.
from the officers of the law that protect and serve the community. We're very thankful for. But what I've been told is maybe they don't. And so I'm going to try to find that. I think before I go in there and really experience some other shit. I'm going to try my best. Throw it away. Say, okay, cop just told me throw it away if they come around. All right, you go. Yeah, it's not mine. It's on the floor. Not mine. I'll put it out, though, because only you can prevent forest fires.
Amen.
Well said.
Obviously, we know that. I would never do that. Got to find someone who never travel across state lines with it. I'm coming from Indiana, so that'll be a whole thing. But should be a blast here in Austin. Tomorrow's going to be fun. Tony legitimately is going to kick field goals, I guess, right now, just in case I ask him to do it. That's
great.
I guess I should. I was not planning on doing that.
Yeah.
I was just going to kind of let him just kind of have the runway to do and say whatever the hell he wants. Let that brain go ahead and work. But if he's going to kick one to double the price maybe for tomorrow for a kid, I mean, now we're playing a game.
Hell yeah.
Now we're playing a game.
I mean,
Now we're playing a game.
You saw his stroke, at least as of yet. He's probably not a great chance he's going to make it.
What do you mean?
You don't know that.
He might have just been bluffing.
He just said, maybe he is bluffing. Maybe he actually kicked his whole life.
I mean, he did do
What did he do? Show me.
swing.
What's the proper
swing.
form? What should it look like?
swing. It's actually pretty good. He had a pretty good swing, I think. I think he had
But
pretty
it was
good swing. I think.
the ball's only going to go about 3 yards.
Well, he's not going to unleash all his power right now.
You don't want to be on his bad side, Hawk.
I know, Tony.
At all. Especially because we know you drank your own piss for 12 years. Okay. So, what's that?
20?
I've never done it, but I'm sure someone in this room has. Someone that's on this show right now has done it, and they won't admit it, I bet.
I've never drank piss.
I'm just saying. They don't have to admit it now. They don't have to admit it on the show.
Ty, have you?
I've never drank piss.
Connor?
I mean, by accident once, but no.
Well, what's that mean?
Okay. All right. So, yes.
How's an accident? Has an accidental pee in your mouth?
Look, it was a complicated story.
It was the morning.
Yeah.
And that bottle was right next to a Gatorade bottle.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay.
Spit it out. I mean, I mean, he
On the third,
he
after
got
the
in there.
third Oh, okay. That's
Like
understandable.
that.
But if you would have done it, for a sustained amount of time, you could have been the all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
I know.
I think it's a myth.
That's what my dad always told me, too.
It's a myth that I don't think drinking your own pee really has much benefit from what I've heard.
No, we talked. You and I, we talked to some urine drinkers.
Tell that to
There
Bear
is bingo. Well, not Bear Grylls. Bear Grylls does it to survive. These people do it to live a better life, quality life than all of us.
Oh.
Remember, we were near a lake.
Yep.
We were out there in Tahoe. We talked to some people who
You're right.
Said it actually doesn't taste that bad. It's
They
like
actually use
less sugary Mountain Dew.
Yeah, they use a lot of their different fluids for different things, though. Some of those people we were talking to.
What other fluids you talking about?
They're seminal fluid. They're frothy loads. Jeez. You asked me, what? Did you not want an answer?
Frothy loads?
What are you doing?
If you're a healthy person, that's the case. Well,
they did tell us that they maybe made some concoctions of both of those.
Remember
things,
that?
You know?
A couple of those people
like
there,
Splenda. They're putting it in there like
Who are you guys
Splenda.
hanging out
I
with?
think it's complete garbage. I think it's garbage. I don't think it was real. If these people were serious, then I have a hard time taking them serious. But yeah, it's a thing. We learned a lot.
No shit, AJ. When we're all sitting there, we're having a tough time. But honestly, it was very informative. I had no idea, but if you could look like that guy, you would. So there was like a 6-second part where I was listening to urine. I'm like, am I going to look like this guy if I just add this into the repertoire? And then he did talk about maybe splicing it with some other stuff. And he lost me, but we certainly continued the convo, though, because I wanted to see how far down the track we were going to go. And I'll tell you what, we went all the way down the machine.
There's no end to that track, Pat.
Yes, we did. And they're healthier than I am. So maybe they have it right and we're wrong. Connor?
Yeah.
Let's not be doing that anymore.
No.
Okay?
I haven't done it in
months.
Yeah. Thank you. Took the words out of my mouth.
All right, let's get the hell out of here. Let's
do it.
This thing, both arrows past the 12 on the right.
Oh, your analog clock. Yeah, there it is. Yeah. That's a clock is straight from like my third grade class.
That is not live right now. That is a picture from last week, but that is the same exact setup going on right now. It's really nostalgia. I'm telling you. I thought about Miss Brooke.
Yeah.
Thought about Mr. Gregory.
God rest her soul.
Rest in peace.
Was she the one that got her face ripped off by the monkey?
Yeah.
Back, Miss Brooke.
Yeah.
She didn't die then. She survived because she's a dog.
Broke
Wore
her
her back.
spine.
She survived for a
He
few
broke
minutes.
her back?
Yeah,
Yeah, he
wore
broke
her
her
back
spine.
like a cape.
The chimp?
I'm not sure any of that happened.
I mean,
but
she
Miss
bled
Fritz,
out pretty quickly after, but she was alive for a little bit.
Shout out to Holiday Park. Yeah, and also, if we're going to talk about Plum, the Plum boys soccer team, I think, finished the season undefeated, number one in Western Pennsylvania.
Nice.
They went they went up. They went from AAA or 3A to 4A, undefeated, number one in the entire Western Pennsylvania. Way to go, boys!
Hell yeah, boys.
The girls soccer team just won their 6th straight conference title or section title. Congrats to the girls soccer team over there.
Girls.
I think the football team is doing good. Got a sophomore starting quarterback. Okay, so we are exactly. I think they're winning games. I think we got things happening over there. I think our lacrosse team's reloaded. A lot of good stuff happening in Plum, and this clock right here takes me back to our elementary school where me and Tone Diggs really got shaped into the humans that we are today, and then
Chiseled.
they would inevitably plow that thing right to the ground and not let anybody go to school anymore.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So that's what they did to Holiday Park. Yep, that's what they did.
Well,
Kurt Signetti knows. I love it.
What's her name again? What's the poor teacher's
Brooke.
name?
Miss Brooke.
Miss Brooke, yeah. Miss Brooke.
yeah.
R.I.P. She died?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
I don't
sorry.
know if Miss Brooke is dead. Miss Brooke felt like a teacher that was going to live forever.
Did she die from the chimp or die from natural causes?
Oh, yeah.
The chip.
Chip. It was a scene.
Tone, I think you're just... Tone, I don't know if you're telling the truth.
Tone doesn't know what's real and what's not, though. Even in his own brain, I think. He gets it all.
Well, he has an AP vote. Let's never forget it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Let's never forget it.
That's gonna come through.
What do you mean?
All right, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Way to go, boys. This was
All
a
right.
fun Friday. This was really feel-good Friday. We had an emergency situation somewhere in here. We had a couple of the boys. We had the kicker. We had obviously some guys who stopped by, Jaden, Bruce, Taymor, and Chris, obviously hanging out. There was a Cody guy down here at one point. I don't know how everybody gets to the places they do when we do this, but I appreciate that they find their way in. And the rest of the day should be awesome. Tony Hinchcliffe just swings by.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
How about him saying, I thought I was going to be the picker, but I guess I'm just,
no.
whoa,
That was sweet.
no.
Tough
Scotty
situation.
Scotty Scheffler, his hands are tied.
The next Tiger Woods.
Tony, come on, all good. Ugh. Tony deserves it.
Yeah.
I have mass respect for Tony.
Next time.
Maybe we have a couple kickers.
We'll be back in Texas.
You can get him up there somehow.
Well, if you're going to play in Texas, you gotta have a fiddle in the band. Man, lead guitars hopping out for Louisiana band. Come rising up that morning. If you're going to play in Texas, you gotta have a fiddle in the band. I'm gonna try to find a little bit of that tonight.
Yeah, you can find some good live music tonight for sure.
Yeah. With the traffic I seen and all the yups in town for G1, I assume every place is going to suck tonight, is what I'm guessing. But if it is that way, I'll still enjoy it. And tomorrow morning is going to be alive, brother. AJ, thank you for making that trip. Boys, great work this week. Behind the glass, way to hold it down. Graphic department, you boys are really doing it.
Hell yeah.
There was no hope for that group. There was no hope for that group, was there?
No, none.
And now they're just absolutely crushing it. Talk on the talks. Way to go, pal. Mitt, way to hold it down this week. Holding that place together.
Yeah,
it's been fun. It's been a fun week. I can't thank you all enough. We'll be back for Overreaction Monday. Massive weekend. 9 a.m. ESPN, Austin, Texas. The host of Georgia Longhorns. Top 5, another top 5 matchup. It's good life. I appreciate you all. AJ, you're the man.
Can't wait. Hey, here we
AJ,
go. Pat, here we go. Team on me, team on 3. Ready? Team on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Team. Goodbye.